start recording. So, also, wait a second.
No.
Where's the music at? Oh, it just stopped playing. Cool. Alrighty. So, there we go. Get the music going here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. So where's that ambient at? Yeah, let's get some. There we go. Alrighty. So, last we had left off, our intrepid group of adventurers had found themselves leaving from New Verdalca, headed to New Efera in hopes to get answers of the tomb of Baramichi, this hidden treasure of this lost city of Nibiru, and hopefully figure out a way to aid in the toppling of a particular section of the Tarkirian trading company. Your journey has been tumultuous, to say the least. You have hit barrier after barrier after barrier, but you keep on moving. You keep on going because you know what happens if you stop. And for most of you, you don't want to think about that too long. So you keep moving, you keep going, and after a few choice encounters with some bandits and the rescuing of one rather plump and eccentric merchant man, you begin to make your way to the Colorful Cauldron Inn, which is your first stop of 3 on your way to New Efera. However, before we go there, I'd like to backpedal just a little bit. So, as all of you on that second night, the night after you rescue Selah, you sit there talking, getting ready to head to sleep. You know, is just doing your nightly chores, getting all of that ready, the campfire crackling. Selah and Al, you two are sitting on your watch, and Selah, you can see Al continuing to tinker, and you can see a little bit of sweat begin to appear on his brow. He sort of rubs it off and looks around out into the jungle. You can tell that he's not really paying attention, but he's trying to look like he is, and that's kind of annoying. But you decide to push down your angry emotions and just continue doing your job, because you know at least one person has to do their job. However, Alec and Cyrus and Morganix, as the 3 of you are getting ready to go to bed and just about to be confronted by that sweet, sweet comfort of sleep, you hear this ripping sound, almost like fabric tearing, but it's accompanied by this blue flash of light. And Selah, as you turn around and Al turns around with you, the 2 of you can see that there is this bright blue portal that emerges in front of your campfire. And then emerging through, you can see this woman with short, shoulder-length red hair, these very nicely pressed and well-decorated robes with different plates of leather strapped on them, and a staff in her one hand. And the woman approaches towards you and Al, and for a moment, you go to grab your weapon, but most of the time you're used to Al being one of the first people to draw. But you can see him just kind of in shock, staring at this woman who just emerged from this portal, and the portal quickly shuts behind her. And Alec, Cyrus, and Morganix, the 3 of you jump out of your tents. And Alec, Cyrus, you don't recognize this woman, but Morganix, you do. This is Master Reginald, the same woman who asked you to watch over Al to begin with. Of course, without letting him know, but sometimes things slip, but, you know, he was so dense sometimes that he didn't even really catch on that's why you were here. And he is, staring at this woman, Master Reginald, with this, blank, sort of shaking look. And she walks over to him and she says, "So, Albrecht Wilhelm III, would you like to tell me why? In a letter I received from you, it told me how everything was going great and there was nothing to worry about. But in a letter I received from her, pointing to you, Morganix, it told me everything that happened. Everything. From the sunken city bay with those pirates to interacting with the Thieves Guild. Your father and I did not send you here to do these escapades, these selfish and frankly preposterous antics. This is not what you came here for. You came here to field study. That's what you came here to do. And obviously it is so undeniably clear to me that you are unable to do that safely here. So, as much as I hate to say it, your father was right. You're not ready yet. Maybe in a few years you'll be able to return, but for right now, you are much too irresponsible and much too young to be here. Let's go. And you can see Al just kind of like shut down and like pack up his things and go to walk towards where the portal had originally emerged. And you can see her kind of like flatten out her robe and look to you, Morganix, and say, "Thank you, my dear, for informing me as to what was actually happening here. In terms of the other part of your message where you had asked anything on that one, Galadar was the name, right?"
Yeah. Morganix is just kind of staring in a state of, holy crap, what just happened?
Yes, well, sadly, I'm not an expert in the situation, but I did have some books delivered to the Rookery in New Efera, so hopefully you should be able to find some helpful reading there. Thank you for everything you've done, and as a token of my gratitude, there is also a small gift for you when you get there for telling me the truth. Because after all, the truth is most important. Is that right, Albrecht? Yes, Mother. Yes. Yes. Good. Thank you all for at least keeping him safe this far. I wish you the best of luck in your journeys. And with sort of a snap and a flourish of her fingers, another portal opens behind her, and she just kind of pats Al on the back as he walks through, and she follows behind him.
Morganix is gonna quickly, like, jump to her feet and call out, "I was wrong about you, Oh, I hope she heard me.
Okay. So, you have a feeling she did. As soon as she walks through, her head kind of turns as you finish her statement, and you see her almost say something like, "whoa," and as she finishes walking through the portal. And eventually, the portal closes. That flash of blue light is no longer there. And
Morganix just kind of turns and looks at the others like, did that just happen?
Alec is just frozen in confusion. She already had her sword drawn and everything, and like her dagger was posed to attack, and they're just standing there dumbfounded.
It was kind of sniggering because that was the best thing she's ever seen.
Is it still late at night?
Oh yeah, you guys were just about to go to bed. So it's maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night.
So Cyrus kind of walks out, scratches his head and goes, "Huh?" And then just goes back to the tent.
Okay.
Perhaps this was for the best. The roads are really no place for children.
Morganix is gonna kind of sink back down, and I'm ashamed to admit how relieved I am. I was not up to that job.
Alec will go over to her and put her hand on her shoulder, and she'll just say, "It wasn't your responsibility. Now you have no more weight on your shoulders."
Well,
I wouldn't say that in her situation.
good thought, though. Good thought. Thanks. Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed.
Alec will just nod, and she'll also head to bed.
Okay. So, as all of you head to sleep, you realize that Sayla is left alone. But luckily, as you all head to sleep and you take a moment to Oh, well, shit, last time we left her alone, she got kidnapped. As you're sort of talking about who is to stay, you hear an arrow fly and then slam into the ground, and there's a small note attached. And as one of you open the note, it says, would you like some help? And before you can even read it and let out to everybody, you see that same familiar dwarvish individual approach towards your campfire, Gray, Wayfinder. And he says, I saw the magical disturbance, and I thought perhaps that you might be low on people, so I would at least try and help you as much as I can get to your next destination. If you would like...
we finally found someone who makes a bigger entrance than you do.
Good.
Okay, humor's not my strong point. I'm going to bed. Sorry. I'm just gonna shut up.
Gray, we appreciate your help, and we would love to fight by your side. Our pack has thinned out, it seems. He was called home by his mother. Oh, she's like scratching her head.
Yep, that was her.
Right. So, yes, your assistance would be much appreciated.
Good. I would be glad to give it to all of you. Will I be...
Morgonix is gonna kind of call from the tent. Is your friend okay?
Juniper is fine. Yes, she is a wonderful huntress and a deft shot. It is much relief to me to know that she was able to recover expediently and is back on her feet, exploring and protecting the mother's children. I also want you...
hold a thumbs up out of the tent and go to bed. Sorry.
I want you to know that humor is not my strong suit either. You are fine. The joke, realizing it was a joke now, was funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I am staying up with the one with the weasel then?
Fox weasel, but yes.
Oh, Fox Weasel. And you see him, like, kind of get a little excited. Do you mind if I look closer?
Sure.
Very good.
Hurt him and I fucking kill you.
Oh, I would not dare hurt one of the mother's children. You must understand that. And he doesn't even want to hold it. He just kind of wants to look at it closer. And the two of you continue on the watch throughout the night as he helps you keep an eye out for things. The next morning, the gnolls still attack and shoot arrows. However, this time, Gray is able to launch an arrow off and actually kill one of the gnolls. You're able to pack up the rest of your supplies and begin to head on your way. You still interact with Thomas Myanthes, except instead of having a fighter gunslinger, you now have a ranger with a bow and arrow who stands in the exact same place, fires the exact same amount of arrows, kills the exact same amount of people. Everything else stays the same. It's Gray instead of Al. So, eventually, as you begin to approach the colorful Cauldron Inn after capturing Advan, as you are approaching and moving up the hill, and right before that scream is heard, he says, I will inform you now, I am not necessarily welcome in the colorful Cauldron Inn, but if you would like some assistance making your way through the rest of the jungles, I will be waiting for you on the other side whenever you decide to leave. It was a pleasure traveling with you.
Thank you,
It
Gray.
was good to see you. I'm glad your friend is safe.
I am as well.
Before he goes, Alex will spit in his hand to take his hand.
I don't think Sayla knows who this is.
Oh, yeah, you don't! So, throughout your watch, he would have explained that when you were kidnapped, one of his friends was kidnapped as well. And he helped your companions free you from your solitude, or from your capture.
Sweet. Good to
Yes.
know.
Sweet indeed. So, you see him kind of disappear into the forest as you begin to go up that hill. Same scream is heard. All of you dismount from the cart and run towards it. And as you get there, all you can see, being this late at night, maybe 10, 11 o'clock, all you can see is a dwarvish man who seems to have like something bludgeoning hit his head as he's currently bleeding from his skull, and he also has two small dots, like two small incisions on his neck. His face is more gaunt, and you can see as people are beginning to crowd around the four of you and this body, you can see this human woman begin to sort of like push through the crowd, saying, "Now what's going on over there? What's pushing through people?" And as she finally makes her way through, she has this like staff of like birchwood and a rabbit in her one hand that it seems like she was halfway through skinning Mama Zila, the person who owns this tavern. And as she sort of gets to the body and looks up at all of you and looks to the rest of the people, she you can see her confused for a moment and say, now wait just a moment, just all of you need to back up right now. Just back up, give this poor man some space. Did the four of you, pointing to the collection of you currently trying to meld in with the group, did the four of you see who did this?
We just heard screaming.
We just got here. We heard a scream and we came running.
All right, listen up, everyone. Here's what's going to happen. Until we find out who did this, no one comes in and no one leaves. Do I make myself perfectly clear? As she's sort of shouting out to everybody, and they're like, and they're sort of grunting, and they kind of move away, and there's now room for all of you to leave, but you can see her just kind of looking down at the body, kneeling down next to it, looking at the wounds. Still she kind of lays the rabbit onto the ground. She's just kind of looking at it. And as the four of you try to like kind of maybe move back towards the cart, try and get back to it, she says, no, wait. The four of you, and Thomas will say he stayed by the cart to try and keep an eye on Advan for all of you. She says, no, wait. The four of you are new here. I don't believe I've ever seen your faces before.
We tend to
Did you say she was like native looking, Joe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do I recognize her?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay. Then, if that's the case, Alec will just kind of like put her fist to her chest and kind of incline her head slightly, and she'll just say, "I apologize. I am Alec Silverfoot, Logan Silverfoot." And she'll just kind of not make eye contact directly.
Okay. So she'll look at you and yes, of course, my dear. And she does the same and sort of tilts her head up, putting her hand on her chest. Now, sorry, it's been so long since I've been practicing the old ways. And frankly, they keep me quite busy here doing doing things their way. So sorry, I'm a little rusty on tradition. But as you said, you four were not just got in here, correct? You were travelers and just showed up?
Correct. We have only just arrived. We heard the scream, like my friend just said, and we found him this way. Unfortunately, I do not think any of us had the opportunity to see who did this.
Oh, dang it. Let's see. All right. Well, maybe you all can help me out with something. Listen, I'm sorry to put y'all in this position right now, but frankly, I don't. And sort of looking around to see if there's anybody around her, and you can see that most of the people have dispersed. She says, "All right, well, okay. Listen. I'll have some people mark this area off so nobody can interfere with this, but you all get situated and meet me in the main tavern, and I'll tell you more there. But if you'd be willing to help, frankly, this old woman would greatly appreciate it if you'd be willing to do that for me."
Sayla just groans and accepts her fate. She knows good and well they're gonna make her do this.
Can Morgonix just kind of elbow her a little bit?
We would love to help.
Oh, bless my heart! Thank you so much. That honestly makes me happier than a June bug in June. All right. So what I need, yes, please get situated, set up your tents, do whatever you need to, and as soon as you do, meet me in the tavern, and I'll give you more information. Frankly, I'm counting my lucky stars that someone like all of you showed up, or else who knows what situation I'd be in right now. All right. And she gets up and she starts shouting out to some people, and she's like, block that off, make sure nobody can get there. And they begin to just take pieces of wood, sort of lining it off, leaving him there just kind of still bleeding on the ground, definitely dead. And all of the four of you head back to your cart.
So, is his body still there? Can we like, can Alex go over and just like, look over his body? We noticed the bite marks, but was there anything else that like said who he was, or like any other injury to him?
Yeah, so you check the back pocket. He has a driver's license. He was an organ donor. No, okay. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me, real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I assist on that?
Are you proficient in medicine?
I don't think so.
Nah.
I forgot I needed to be proficient, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Oh, looks like it didn't matter. So, Alec, there is an interesting moment that happens as you sort of kneel down next to the body, and you do check the wound, so you do see that he does have 2 small incisions in his neck. And on top of that, there is some type of concussive force that hit him in the back of the head. Something. You're not sure exactly what it was, but you can see that his skull is cracked on the back of his head, and it is, at least it was bleeding quite a bit. As you can see, there's like that dark red spot on the ground where the blood was leaking out and landing on. But as you're sitting there on your knees looking at him, there's this interesting moment where as you sort of are holding his head, and both of your hands are on his head looking at the wound, and as soon as you go to lean his head down, you had always heard about people in your tribe who they didn't necessarily commune with the dead, but they were able to create connections with lost souls. And in a moment, as you are about to lie his head down and your fingers are just coming off of his head, they slowly graze his temples. And you feel this electric connection as you're dragging it along the sides of his temple, and you feel fear, you feel confusion, you feel pain, and then sadness, and then fear, and then nothing. And you have a feeling that those might have been the final emotions that he was having before he died. Other than that, just physical aspects, he is a dwarf. There are gray hairs, so he's maybe 110, 120. But in terms of a name or anything like that, you're not exactly sure.
Okay. After looking him over, and she'll kind of like, if his eyes are still open, like do the whole shutting his eyes kind of thing. The wound on it's on his neck, yeah, the 2 holes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it look like there's blood loss in that area?
With that medicine, it's just a little hard to tell.
I'm sorry, I feel like Alec wouldn't know what that is. So I just wanted to look at it and just see what else I could figure out from it.
Yeah, I mean, his face and neck area, like the entire from the neck up, is definitely more gaunt and more drained. It seems like, but you're not sure if that is from blood loss from the neck or blood loss from the head, or just from being older, and maybe he didn't have a very good diet.
Okay, well, as Alec kind of steps away, she will catch up with the group of faves walked away, or if not, she'll just kind of walk over to them as we head towards the tavern, and she'll just say, this man was also hit pretty hard in the head. I'm not sure that was the cause of death, but something to keep in mind as we continue to think about what may have happened here. And then we'll just keep going towards the tavern.
Okay.
Can Morgonix, like, this is at the well, basically?
Yeah.
Can Morgonix maybe do a quick investigation check, take a look for anything that might have been dropped?
Okay.
Or any evidence, I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Probably not a bad idea.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Can Sayla get in on that too?
You may. Or well, are you proficient in it? Unless you wanted to make your own.
I was thinking make my own.
Okay, yeah, go for it. The two of you begin to scan separate areas, see if you have any idea. See if you can get anything. Ooh, okay. So, as the two of you are looking around, Sayla, your heart's not in it, because at the end of the day, the reason you'd be doing this is an intrinsically good reason, and you just can't get over that. So you're just kind of doing it. You're making it look like you're looking around. You're not really looking for anything. Morganix, as you're looking around, the sad part is it's hard to ascertain any footprints because of all of the people who gathered around here after the scream. So there's not really tracks one way or the other because they've all been sort of mushed into the mud from where people who were walking before. There's not necessarily any items lying around, aside from sticks and twigs and little pieces of ash and rock that maybe have been strewn about. You do find one silver piece that somebody dropped.
Hey!
But in terms of anything else, no, not really.
Worth a shot.
And you got a silver piece, like that. Okay. So, is everybody heading back to the cart then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sayla's bitching about the fact that she got nudged by her by Morganix.
So, as
I'm gonna do that.
this batting back and forth between the two of you, as soon as you get back to the cart, you can see that Thomas is sitting in the cart next to Advan, like squeezed up, sorry, no. Sinver, not Advan. Ooh, no. Advan's not in the cart. Sinver is, the halfling. So sitting next to the halfling in the back of the cart, just kind of like squeezing him into the corner. And as you approach, you can just see Thomas just saying, well, you know, then the really interesting thing is that see, when I was growing up, I was able to, and Sinver seeing all of you just, he just looks up at all of you. Please. This is worse than any torture. Please make him stop. Thomas,
I hate that I quite like Thomas.
oh, I'm sorry. Was I talking too much? Sorry, that's something I do sometimes. I didn't mean to. Oh, hello, my friends. Hello. I'm so happy to see all of you. So, when I went there with you and I saw that it was a body and I almost wanted to throw up, so I decided to come back to the cart and make sure our little halfling friend wasn't running away. He was trying to get out of the cart when I first got back, but luckily I pushed him back in and decided to keep him busy.
Oh, thank you. That was very thoughtful of you.
Yes, very forthcoming. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, it was no problem indeed. I was more than happy to provide a service to somebody who provided a service to me.
Is Sylvan, what is his name? I'm sorry, say again?
Sinver.
Silver, okay. Is Silver like still sitting up in the car, or he just kind of resigned there? Thank you.
Yeah. He's just kind of resigned. Like, he's sitting up in the corner and just sort of staring down at the ground.
Okay. Well, as soon as Thomas mentioned that he was trying to escape, Alice would just go over and just punch him in the face to knock him out.
And like a limp noodle, it only takes one hit. He's out.
All right.
Falls on the ground.
Problem solved.
As you punch so hard, a couple teeth.
Oh god.
Slam into the mud.
Well, at least he'll be quiet now. And Alice just smiles at everyone.
All right.
Yep.
Pretty well.
That's one way to do it.
Okay, so then pretty much anywhere around here you guys can pull your cart around to and begin to camp, and I just want to know where you're kind of feeling doing that, so I can just mark it on here for my own sanity. So pretty much
Is there
anywhere...
not an inn? I thought there was going to be an inn.
Yes, there is the colorful Cauldron Inn, which is the big red building. So you could drop your stuff off at the stable right here, and then head to the inn if you'd like. Unless you wanted to camp outside of the inn, it's up to you.
I would absolutely be getting a room. I don't know about anyone else, but I'd be getting a room.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and say the horse. Oh wow, that's supposed to be an H. There we go. Horse is going there, and cart. Oh, that's
We
so
won't
nice.
leave our stuff though. We should put it in our rooms.
Yeah, Sayla's not gonna leave her stuff. That would be. She knows better.
And then the party be staying in here. Okay.
Alec, are you carrying our prisoner?
Yeah. She has like Fro on her back and then the other guy like, over her shoulder at the same time.
Okay, easy enough for you. He's so light for you that it's like carrying a child, and it's not even an issue. And so all of you drop off your cart and horse at the stable. Yeah, you've got Fro, and Fro is just kind of poking his like cheek and nose and like his eyeball. And so as you all are making your way back, there is a 3 copper a day fee at the stable because they clean and they feed your horse and they do any minor repairs on your cart. So if somebody just wants to mark off 3 copper for that.
I got it.
All right. Bold. Yeah, you just got that 1 silver. You're rich. So you make your way walking on the cobbled stone path through these like shoulder-high bushes that sort of surround the entire colorful Cauldron Inn. And you can see as you get closer towards the entrance down that straight alleyway towards the flower butterfly garden, you can see these huge butterflies, like maybe like 2-foot long wingspan, just kind of floating and land, and they just disappear in the garden. And then they fly back up and fly back out into the wilderness. And there are just a collection, maybe 5 or 6, that just keep shifting in and out of the flower garden and back into the jungle. So, eventually, all of you make your way back into the colorful Cauldron Inn, and as soon as you make your way in there, you are just traditional tavern style, where it is this, and even more so. It seems like this place has been built from the ground up in a ridiculous fashion, where it is a 3-story building, and just the first and second story themselves are used specifically as drinking and dining areas, where it is tiered, and there is actually like the second story is like it has like a railing around it, so you can look down from the second story onto the first, and then it seems like the third story is where all of the rooms are at. So you make your way into the tavern. You can hear people talking and chatting. You can hear the music begin to play as you are in there, and people just having seemingly a good time, drinking, chatting, all that good stuff. And you can see that Mama Z is making her way around, sort of asking anybody if they needs anything. You can see as you all walk in with your bags, and Thomas behind you holding his like box on his belly, squeezing it into his chest. She sees all of you enter, and she says, "Oh, just wait right there, sweethearts. I'll be right there. Go ahead and meet me up at the counter up here on the first floor. All right?" And she goes from person to person. It's like, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can get you? Anything right now is on the house after what happened. I'm so sorry." And just going around trying to be as cordial as possible. Definitely right now she looks really disturbed. But she's trying to make everybody else feel better, and it seems like it's working. People are having a good time. People are drinking. All of you kind of have to push through people to get to the front. And eventually, as you make your way around, she sort of meets you at the counter. And she says, "Oh, well, darlings, honestly, thank you so much for coming in here and speaking with me. So, I'm taking it, judging by the fact that you didn't bring a horse and cart in here in any tents, you're probably wanting to have some rooms in here, right?"
Do you have space available for us?
"Well, sadly, I don't have any normal rooms, but listen, if you're willing to do me this big favor, I have one room that I reserve for special occasions, and it's only one room, but it's the entire 4th floor. And you know what? Honestly, because you're doing me such a good favor here, I would be more than happy to give you that room just on the house for the one night. And hopefully it won't take any longer than that, and if it does, I'll just charge you a discounted fee on the second night. Just as a favor to me. And there is already food and wine up there for you. I try and keep it well stocked every night, just in case there are guests who come up who want to pay that extra coin. Mama's got to make a living somehow, right? But for tonight, I think that it is more than acceptable for you four to spend the night up there. I don't see anything wrong with that, especially if you're willing to do me this great favor.
A question, if you do not mind me asking.
Of course.
Is this a common occurrence that people just wind up dead with their heads bashed in and holes in their neck?
And as you say that, there are a few patrons who are at the bar who just kind of like look over to you, and they try and like go back to their drink, but you can tell that they're like listening, where they're like side-eyeing you. And she says, well, darling, I would love to give you more information right now, but I think we should get you situated in your room first, and in an area where we can speak more freely without prying eyes. How's that sound, Eric? Does that sound okay? He's sort of the one guy who's like side-eyeing you the most, and he sort of, okay. And he kind of like gets up from the bar and moves away. I'll tell you what, some of these people they are too much to handle. But listen, you all go get settled up in there, eat a little, drink a little. I'm sure you've had a hard journey getting here. Most people have. And I'll be up right away. Give you a little bit of time to relax, okay?
Yes, relax. Alex is uncomfortable. She doesn't like being around so many people, so, but...
Margonix is gonna pat Alec on the shoulder this time.
Thank you.
I think this is the first time Cyrus has looked comfortable in a long time.
Okay. Alrighty. So, all of you turn away from her. She's already gone, going to somebody else. Oh, is there anything else I can get you, darling? Please, just let me know. All right, honey? You good? All right. And just kind of moving around, making the rounds, going upstairs and back downstairs. And you kind of have to push your way upstairs and eventually up to the third floor, where it is a little bit more quiet and a little bit more dulled. But then eventually you get to the staircase leading up to the fourth floor, and getting up to the fourth floor, eventually it opens up. The door is unlocked right now, and it opens up, and it is this wide open room that really is the entirety of the fourth floor. There is one column in the center, which is where the staircase entry is, but the rest of that, there are 6 beds up here. There are several different desks. There's tables, lounges, futons, love seats. I mean, really anything that you can think of to just sit and relax on. And there's even a patio, or a terrace, that you can walk out on that overlooks the butterfly garden and parts of the jungle.
As soon as we get in there, I would like to find like a spot far away from the door and like the patio area and like maybe grab like, she doesn't want to be rude, but she's not going to break anything in here. But find a spot like maybe like to a bed that she can tie our prisoner up against. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, yeah. And you can find like some bed sheets and sort of wrap up around his hands and tie it around a bedpost. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And if he ever comes to, she'll just punch him again.
Okay, cool.
So, if needed.
Sounds good to me. All right. So you tie him up, and then you can see that there is a table in the center of the room that is just, it seems like it is specifically for, there's food, wine, ale, meat, bread, cheese, fruits, and vegetables. Just a whole collection of food on there for anybody who would like. So any of you are free to partake in any of that. And is there anything you guys wanted to talk about before Mama Z showed up?
Is Thomas still with us?
Yeah, unless you guys would have told him no, he definitely followed you up. You can tell as he's sort of like carrying the box and he sort of sets it down on one of the beds and begins to flatten it out. He's like, "Ooh, this is very nice. I quite like this quite a bit." So, what's the word then? Are you all helping with the investigation? Is that what's happening? Are we detectives now?
Morgonix is
I
gonna
don't know.
kind of look at the others when he says "we," but
Yeah, Alex straight up doesn't know what the word detective means, so she just, no? What is this? What is a detective?
they try to solve mysteries and crimes, and yeah, I think we're going to try to help these people if we can, but I don't think we want to waste more than a day.
We really shouldn't even waste a day.
No, let's not
Well-
get too hasty. This
Oh,
is
you just want to leave. Or stay, I mean. I want to leave. I want to get going.
I think it would be rude to turn down such comfortable furnishings, and I'm already pouring wine.
And you say you're not an alcoholic.
Thomas, my man, care for a drink? We should celebrate.
Oh, yes, I would love to. I never turned down a good bit of wine and cheese in my day. I don't know if you could tell. Yes, please, pour me a cup.
Love it. We're having a good time.
Yes, I'm having a very good time.
I do think it is right to stay and help these people, but I also agree that no more than a day or two should we spend straying from our journey. I would like to be in New Efera as quick as possible, but I also don't want to just leave these people.
I agree. So
You're
it's worth a
always
try.
nice.
I mean, just excuse me, pardon me. I am a fan of the wine. However, I'm not going to turn my nose up at some cover from these fucking gnolls and these fucking screaming weasels for a couple of days. I don't know about you guys. I deserve this.
He's not wrong. We have taken their pack leader. She kind of like looks over at the halfling. They will follow us, and the gnolls as well. It would be smart to rest, figure out what is going on here, and pick up when it is safe, we've recovered, and we can carry forward without too many people trailing us.
I was
She's like
hoping
trying
there
really
would
hard.
be. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying that she's trying really hard to sound like a leader, but I don't know how well she's doing. And then that was it.
And Morgonix is going to say, I was hoping that we would find some sort of peacekeepers here and we could turn him over for the bounty, but I don't think they'd be asking for our help if there was any such thing nearby. I think we're going to have to keep him with us for a while.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible fan of this cheese, and I kind of like pick up a grape and I throw it at Simba's head.
What's going on? What's happening? Where am I? Oh, fuck, am I tied up? Oh, fuck. Oh, this is nice, though.
Now, darling.
What?
Don't want to wake the bear.
Oh,
Alex will
And I
wave.
look at Alec.
and you see him like as he's like finally awake, he his hands up, he kind of like rubs his jaw into his arm, and he's like, oh, okay, all right, I'll be quiet. And you just kind of hear him quivering, just audibly quivering in the corner, just.
Want some wine?
I mean, if you're
It's not
offering,
a trick. It's not a trick.
okay, all right, I'll take some wine. If all right,
I'll go and bring a cup over to my wine.
okay.
Morgonix will bring a plate of food as well and just set it on the ground near him.
Okay.
And this just makes Sayla scowl even more because why are we wasting food on him?
Okay. So as his arms are tied to the bedpost, and you sort of set the food and wine down next to him, how am I supposed to eat that?
I'll open wide now, darling.
Ah.
I'll pour some wine in his mouth.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, that cheese looks quite good. I don't know if you're willing to part with it, but I'd love a.
Oh no. This cheese is mine. The cheese is not in front of you. The cheese is not.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Okay.
now you're being simply cheeky.
No. I'm just hungry. I'm just hungry. I don't. Please don't.
I'm just fucking
Don't wake
with you,
the bear.
and I break off a piece of cheese.
Okay. Listen. All right. I don't want the cheese. I will tell you anything you want. Just please let me go and don't fucking wake the bear. I don't want the bear to be woken up again. I can't lose any more teeth. It's my only redeeming quality.
And here you think she's the worst of us.
Worst I've seen. Except for him, pointing, like, nodding his head to Cyrus. He burnt 4 or 5 people alive.
Technically, they may have perished before they were burning, but yes, they were immolated. That is correct.
Yeah. But I'm sure that
But I'm
all
not
of
burning you.
No, you're right, and I'm really thankful for that. I just and you can see he's just starting to get like hysteric. He's like, I just really don't want to fucking die, man.
Hey, Silver.
Yeah.
What do you know about this place? You know why people are just being bashed in the head and stabbed? There's a puncture wound on this man's neck. 2 of them.
Help us and you get some cheese.
Okay. So this is it's been we were before Old Crossing, so that means we're in with the Colourful Cauldron Inn. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Colourful Cauldron Inn. Listen, I'm sorry. My position is mainly in between the Colourful Cauldron, but I know that Advent says to stay away from here. Advent says to stay away from here because, fuck. I'm such a bad listener. Fuck. Oh shit.
It's okay. I'll give them some cheese.
Okay, so he kind of like nibbles on the cheese and he. Okay. No. I think that helps. Oh yes. Okay. They say that not in the Colourful Cauldron Inn, but around the Colourful Cauldron Inn, there's some type of monster who lives in the jungle. But there's some type of Advent says there's some type of protection stave around the Colourful Cauldron Inn to prevent that monster from getting in.
What monster? What is the monster?
It's it's kind of like it's kind of like a woman. It's like a woman, but like a slug, and it's like a beetle too, but there is some other things about it that.
Is he making any sense right now, Joe? Like, do I know what he's talking about? Oh, fucking nonsense.
It doesn't click for you. There is nothing in Kanjiato that this would ever have.
Is there anything in a book I've read?
Or maybe something Sayla has heard about in the underworld?
I'll say both of you can make history checks.
Oh lord.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I would have no fucking clue.
My goodness. Where is history? Oh my gosh, I'm so fucking slow. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You're
Oh,
fine.
okay. So, Morganix and Sayla, the two of you are thinking each to your own, and Sayla, you've never interacted with them, but you had heard of times when Malice would make deals with them, you know, because they have a way of getting in and out in places, and Morganix. So, well, Sayla, your first instinct is maybe a doppelganger, because they can appear like a woman. They can also shift their appearance to look grotesque or disgusting. So a beetle or a bug would make sense. But Morganics, using more of a historical lens and trying to think about what things might exist here, or something of the sort, you're leaning closer towards maybe some type of like a prophetic entity or cursed entity, maybe like maybe like some type of zombie, maybe that would be cursed of some kind, or maybe like a hag, something in that region that, may be very grotesque, but also some type of abomination. So you're not sure if it's a creation of somebody, because it doesn't exactly match with anything you've read. But there are like three different aspects of it that match three different things. So right now you guys are behind maybe some type of undead, maybe a hag, maybe a doppelganger. That's where you guys are with your checks.
None of those options are comforting.
Yeah, none of those sound fun.
I presume either of you would have told us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll kind of like gag on my own and say, wait, those are fucking real?
Some of the people I know have had some dealings with things like that.
I've read about them.
But there's protection within this area, correct? Looking at Silver.
That's what Advan would say. So he said if we ever came in here, that we'd have to not look as gross, something like that. We'd have to look like we were traders. If we wanted to stay in here, if we ever needed to head more north than our station position. But
not that I was particularly looking for it, but like when we entered, did I see any like arcane runes near any doors, or would I have had to have been looking for that specifically?
what's your passive perception? I'll ask you that.
I think it's 12, but let me just double check 1 second.
Okay.
When it opens. Come on. Yeah, 12.
12. Looking back, you do remember there being on the edges of town, because the Colorful Cauldron Inn is kind of built on an elevated, like, cliffy hillside. You do remember there being something white, like snow, or it was just a white granular substance that was around the edge of town. When you entered, you're not sure if it goes all the way around, but you do remember something. So it's either sand, salt, sugar, it's something like that.
Okay.
But no runes or anything.
Right, that's fine.
Okay. So, Sinver still tied up. He says, so I answered the question. Would I maybe be allowed to have some of that ham?
Of course. You've been a good boy.
Thank you. I think I have too. Thank you.
And I'll cut off a piece of ham with my dagger.
Oh, that is good ham. Oh.
Where is Advin?
Well, Advent. So, I don't know if you remember, but you remember that place that all of you had showed up, where we had your angry friend over there?
Vividly.
I laugh with my mouth. I thought, oh, yeah, where I burn those people. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, where you burned my friends. Yeah. But later that day, he showed up there for, well, what he thought would be the godling and the rod, and he showed up. He was really angry.
The
at me.
rod?
Yeah. The He said it was like a a small shaft of iron. He said that it was rightfully his friends, it was rightfully the Oxes, and the Godling stole it from under their noses, and he wanted it back. He wanted to give his friend a gift. And so we were supposed to keep an eye out for the Godling, take them both, so he could give 2 gifts. One was what he really wanted, and the other one was going to be like a nice surprise. I don't know exactly what he planned to do, but it seemed like it probably wasn't good knowing who the Ox is. He's not exactly the kindest man. But when he showed up, and I didn't have you, or whatever the fuck that rod is, well, if you'd ever like to see what it looks like when somebody's branded 7 times over as a punishment, feel free to look at my back. It was very painful. I was demoted from captain back to recruit, and well, I was sent back to caravan raiding, which oh so luckily is where all of you found me. Which is why I wasn't in charge and that fucking idiot was. I like looking at Thomas. It would have been so easy if we would have just broken open the door, slit his throat, and took whatever he has. It would have been done for. But no, he decided that he had to go all over and out with the theatrics and the foreigner, and he just thought that he was the best one around because he was gonna talk it out, and he was gonna be able to kill him without him knowing. And what's the point? What's the point in all those theatrics? God.
Just when I start to feel sorry for you, you go and say something like that.
Well done, Thomas.
Yes, my father always taught me that I was a bit of a pushover, and so I thought in that moment, no, Thomas, you're no pushover no more. You're going to make those bandits work for it. And, well...
Fuck them, my dude.
Yes, it seemed like it was a good idea.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of respecting this little bastard a little now. Not
Where-
the other one, the tied up one.
Thank you. I appreciate the respect. And I will say that now, currently, I look back on my situation and I realise that I had made a mistake, that I should have turned my life around and gone and done something better with it. Is that what you're looking for me to say instead?
So I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression, Linda. We're far past that situation right now.
Gotcha. All right. Got it. Marked. Remembered.
Bad read.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Last time they tried to let somebody go, I slit their throat.
Oh.
It's true, she did. Still not over that.
I scowl.
All right. So that means you've probably learned your lesson and you're not going to slip mine?
Fuck no, I would gladly do it if it meant getting anything done.
Okay. Well,
You've got to have some sort of headquarters. Where does this Advin live?
well, he has he's what's the word? He's mobile throughout the jungle. He doesn't even stay that often. He just comes and collects his dues every month or so. He spends most of his times with the ox and the other one, the lady, the one with the messed up face. He spends most of his time with them, and he only comes
Does she have a name? The one with the messed up face.
Oh fuck, what is it? I don't remember exactly. All I remember is it. Oh god, she's a magic. She's a sorcerer of some kind, and she's got her face is scarred, and I've only ever seen it once, and it was sewn together.
Oh.
And she took it off one time. She wears a mask most of the time, but she took it off one time, and it seemed like she. Fuck, there was somebody who was rude to Advan, and she made an example of him. She took her mask off, and she don't know, consumed him. I don't know. It was like anything that made him, anything about him that was life, was just removed, just absorbed. He was just skin and bone.
Well, that sounds fucking miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And you work with these people. Do you enjoy what you do?
I enjoy the gold. I enjoy the wealth. I enjoy the fear that I inspire in people like him, pointing to Thomas. But I don't like them. I don't. It's not like Advin's my best pal. It's not like I'm gonna go out and get a drink with him. You know. No, I just. The gold he gives is good. The gold he gives can buy the things that I want, and makes me feel good and powerful. So that's why I do it.
But
How's that working out for you?
Pretty
Yeah.
fucking great until all of you showed up.
Oh, there's always a bigger fish, pal.
I guess I know that now. So, listen, I just so I know exactly what my fate is here, is your intention to slit my throat or turn me into the authorities or turn me back to Advan? Honestly, I think I would just like to know at this point. I know that I'm never getting out free again.
We're going to collect the bounty on your head and you'll be trialed.
Oh. And by trial, you mean hanged in front of hundreds of people?
Fraternity, slavery.
you've made these choices. You must live with them. Or not live, but they are your choices. And you must pay for what you've done.
All right. I hear you out. But, big but here. It seems like all of you, at least a little bit, one more than the other, my godling friend over there, it seems like
Quit
all...
calling me that.
All right. It'd be nice if I could have a name. Make things easier. Okay, the one with the brown hair, the one with the purple skin. Right, do you want me to call you by your identifying features? The mean one? The native one? Is that the fat one? The frog one?
Oh,
Is
I'm so sorry. I'm Cyrus, and I kind of go to shake a hand that's not there.
He just stares at the hand, and there's just... He's like, all right. Nice to meet you, Cyrus. All I'm trying to say, I know you don't like me, and frankly, because of everything you've done to me and the people that I care about, at least a little bit, I don't necessarily like you, but all of us don't like Advent. All of us don't like the Ox, and all of us don't like that other lady. So, although he thinks I'm incompetent, what a better way to lure him out than with my incompetence? I ran away again from the other carriage when things got tough. You lure him out. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. He's dead. You win. No problems. And
No.
for helping you, No? Alright. Yep, I'll shut
No.
up. Okay,
You kill
fine.
people for gold. You kill people for power. But yet you have no gold and you have no power here. No one here is afraid of you because you are a small, weak, little man. Do you understand? We do not let you go. We do not play games because this is serious. What you've done is serious and you have to pay for what you have done. So you
Alec?
can sit there and you can suffer and you can pay for what you have done. And she's like inching closer to him at this point.
Alright. I'm sorry.
Morganix is gonna kind of go after her and put a hand on her shoulder.
Alright. Okay. How about this? How about I sweeten the pot a little bit, right? I'm okay with being hanged. I've come to terms with my life. Plus, honestly, thing is, if I'm hanged in front of people, I can shout whatever I want at those fucking people, and honestly, the looks on their faces with half of the shit come out of my mouth, honestly lightens my day just a little bit.
I mean,
But, listen.
she could take your tongue out first.
Oh, please don't. Listen, let me say one more thing, and then I'll shut up. Alright?
She's just staring at him at this point.
Go on. Go ahead.
So, the Ox and Advan and their other friend, they work quite a lot searching for things. now that money has to come from somewhere. Sure, Advan makes a pretty good bit working with the bandit groups in Efera, but where else is he getting that money from? There has to be quite a big pot somewhere else fueling these journeys from continent to continent. Because I'll tell you what, he's not getting around that way by boat. It's got to be something more, right? So that means there's got to be magic, artifacts, and a lot of gold behind this prospect. So I don't know who that gold is, but there's got to be a lot of it. So what if we go with the original plan? You don't kill Advan, you capture him, you figure out who he's working for, whoever those people are. You rob them. I don't know what good people do. You crusade. Is that what good people do? They call it crusade and they steal and pillage. I think that's what you do, right?
No, I just like wine and cheese.
I'm a librarian.
All right. Well, think about how much wine and cheese and how much book you could get. Think about how much book. Exactly, book. Think about how much book you could get. I'm just saying it's an interesting thing to think about. Where they're getting their gold from. But like I said, I'll shut up now. I've said my piece. I mean, I know more, but I won't say it because I said I'd shut up.
Listen, if you have anything else useful to tell us, speak now. Because you will not have another chance.
I'll give you some ham.
All right, now we're getting somewhere. How about some ham and a little bit of wine, just something to wash it down. And then one more thing. I only ask for one more thing.
Oh,
Which
God.
is?
Speak now.
Listen, I have quite a love for tobacco. All I want is one more long drag on a pipe. That's it. Those 3 things. If I get those 3 things, I will tell you this last little bit of juicy information on where Advan was heading next. Huh? Yeah.
Joe, question. Because Alex people, they smoke a lot of, not tobacco, but they smoke a lot. Would Alex have any of that on her?
Oh, yeah. There is this this leaf called Pitus, which your people would have, which is pretty much just the fantasy equivalent of marijuana.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Unbeknownst to all of you, Alec will pull that out from her stash, and she will just walk over, shove whatever, I don't know, I assume it's probably wrapped in like a strange fucking leaf, I don't know, bunch of little leaves inside of a bigger leaf, shove it in his mouth, grab something to light it, like a nearby candle, and just put it in his mouth.
Okay, so you do, and you light it, and he's like, well, I really would have preferred a pipe, but this is fine, I suppose.
You only have a few seconds, so you need to start talking.
I'll get some wine and ham.
Oh, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. And then the ham first, please.
Oh, well, don't test me.
No, so I didn't mean to. Just because the wine will wash it down. I don't want to have that salty ham flavor in my mouth.
Why are we indulging him? Why don't we just?
I need to know.
I'll give him some ham first, and then.
God, that is good ham. Oh.
You need to start talking.
Wait, the wine.
Open wide.
All right.
I'll pour the wine.
Okay. Oh. All right. So, you want to know where Advan was heading next? As I said, I would tell you, and I would just like to thank you all first for your wonderful service. You really, if you ever doubt...
I summon the Hexblade.
Oh, so that's why he wanted the rod. Rod turns into a pretty blade. But
I
point
pointed
taken.
at him.
Point taken. Please, please, please. All right, sorry. I didn't mean to. So, old habits die hard, right? Advan was heading to New Efera under the order of that company, those people that pay him quite a lot, and the Ox.
Oh, fuck off.
The three of them were heading to New Efera to try and find some information.
What company?
I don't know. There's so many. I really. All I know is that they have a lot of gold, and they got a lot of gold. They got a lot of resources, and I'll promise you as the blade is like right next to his cheek. He's like, I promise you, I don't know much more than that. That's really they're some type of corporation, enterprise, company, and they have a lot of gold, and they have a lot of.
You don't have a name.
What was that? Sorry.
I said, and you don't have a name?
No. Advan wouldn't share any names. He. The only people I ever met were the Ox and the other one. I promise you, I never met any. I never heard any other names than that.
Morganix is going to dismiss the Hexblade. She's going to walk into a corner and she's going to scream.
Oh.
Okay, so you scream and
Yep.
At about that point, you hear steps coming up the stairs, doo, 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 as the door slams open. Honey, are you all right in here, sweethearts? What's going on? As Mama Z like bursts into the door. She's like, is everything okay in here? What's happening? What's going on?
Welcome to the party.
All right. What? And seeing the halfling man now tied up, Morganix just finishing your scream in the corner. Thomas just sitting at the table, just taking little sips of wine, eating off little chunks of cheese. He gives her away, and she's like, "All right, okay." And she shuts the door behind her. You know what? Personal business is personal business.
Alex will punch Advan. Oh my god.
Sinver.
Sorry, oof. Just so he doesn't talk during the conversation.
Clunk right in the jaw again. Another 2 teeth fly out, scatter across the floor. Oh well, it seems like he's definitely not your friend. Well, sorry to keep y'all waiting. I really didn't mean. Sorry, things get a little crazy down there quite often. So my attention is needed more often than not. So, I just wanted to double check with all of y'all that you are okay with doing me this favor, of investigating what happened.
Oh, absolutely. Great ham, by the way.
Oh yes, I spice it myself. It's a collection of traditional native spices and a little pinch of salt.
We would be happy to help. We just need to, in all due respect, sister. She's not sure if that's what she should call her at this point, seeing how like quote unquote modernized she seems to be.
Oh, please, dearie, call me Mama Z.
Mama Z. We do have to be to do a fair quickly. But we do not wish to just leave without helping. So we will do the best we can with the time that we have.
Yes, of course. I understand having other priorities, and I really do appreciate all of you doing me this kindness, this favor. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I am greatly appreciative.
Mm-hmm. You're very welcome. And I was just kind of like looking over at Morganix. Yes. So, as you can see, it's been kind of a rough last few moments. This man here is wanted, and we have intentions of turning him over to the proper authorities to collect the bounty. But, again, we want to help you before that happens. So if there's any information that you can give us on what has happened earlier, if this is something that just occurs in this area, have other people died recently?
Yes. So, now I've been working here at the Colorful Cauldron. I started as just a serving maid maybe 10, 15 years ago, and maybe 4 or 5. I eventually the owner died and passed it on to me, and I've been taking care of it ever since. However, this particular thing just started happening. Geez, within the past year, where it seems like every month or maybe twice, 3 times a month at the most. Well, sometimes people just go missing in the middle of the night. That tends to happen, but most of the time it's just chalked up to they decided to leave in the middle of the night because sometimes the cover of night is safer to travel in than in the daytime for some people. So most of the time we just chalk it up to that.
How does she seem when talking about people going missing regularly?
Make an insight check. Just to see, because right off the bat, she does seem almost like she's, because it has been happening for the past year. She does seem adjusted to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So she is rather calm, but it's kind of like the feeling that you get. And I hate to use such a real life example, but kind of like how people in the U.S. generally react to like oh god, like school shootings or something like that, where
It's
is
so
terrible.
almost commonplace now that it's
Yeah, where it's like, oh my god, that's terrible, but it's become a way of life
Yeah.
around here. And she continues on, and she says, I do, and don't mistake my lack of sorrow and grief for me not caring. I do. It's just it's hard to continue to care. I mean, I do have a business, and I also need to keep in mind that, well, if people start discovering that people are going missing at my tavern, well, then people are going to stop coming. And the main reason I decided to keep this place going and I decided to stay here was because, I don't know if you saw, but those butterflies out there are very rare, and they had been hunted for quite some time by field researchers and explorers, and I like to give them a place to come and be safe and feed them whatever type of stuff they need. And so yeah. So sorry, to get back to what you were saying. Sorry, I get a little distracted every once in a while. But it's been happening for about a year, and in the past month or so, it's been happening more often and more aggressively. And there are where before people would just go missing. In the past couple of months, people have been they've just been getting killed. Middle of the street, and always it is that those God, I hate to say it, but those 2 wounds on the neck. It's always a bludgeon to the back of the head, and those 2 wounds, and typically they're people who are traveling by themselves. No friends, family, no identification.
Is there a creature in the wood nearby that is responsible for this? This man tried to claim that such a thing existed.
Well, I wish it were that easy, sweetheart. I really do, but sadly, as a woman who grew up in these lands before all the people migrated, there's really nothing out there that is that dangerous. Anything that was, as silly as it sounds, most of the insects that live around here, they can be rather poisonous and dangerous. So I put a salt barrier around the exterior town just in case they do decide to crawl in. And most of the time, any type of slugs or bugs, they get a whiff of that, or they hit that salt and they might. It's a little acidic to them, but at the end of the day, I've had to make compromises in certain aspects of my natural life for my business.
So you believe that whatever is the cause is here within the grounds rather than an outside source?
I do. I really do. And
Have you
obviously,
not patrolled the grounds, started a party, a search?
Well, I've tried before, but nothing has come up, or those that I suspect seem to always have the perfect alibi. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to come up here and talk to you, is because I do have several suspects that I think might be responsible for this. They've all been they've been here the same 2.5, 3 months, where the really brutal murders have been taking place, as opposed to just the disappearances. And they've all been here the same amount of time, but anytime I go to talk to them about it, they're always happy to talk for as long as I want. They always have the perfect alibi, but it's just all three of them. I just don't feel right about them. There is one man. His name is Douglas Filigree. He's a younger man, and let me just. Douglas, he's been here for 2.5 months. I'm not exactly sure why he's stuck around for so long. He works in the stables. He showed up one day and just decided to continue to work there. But anytime I go to talk to him, he doesn't like talking to me for very long. And then it seems like as soon as I ask him any questions about where he might have been, he just kind of makes up an excuse and says, "Oh no, I got to take care of the pigs. Mama Z, sorry, I need to go do that. I need to feed the horses. I got somebody's horse I got to brush. I got a cart I need to fix." It's always something. And he's a young kid, so I understand if he gets nervous about it, but I don't know. And then there's another man, and this one makes me the most nervous. In all honesty, he's a loner. He doesn't talk to very many people. Well, to be frank, he really only ever interacts with anyone after the sun has gone down, and he claims that it's because of some type of sensitivity with his eyes. But I don't know. He's from that desert continent. He's Cartesian, and his name is Kareem Nalio, and I don't exactly know him too well. I've tried to talk to him, but anytime I'm in his tent for a while, I don't know, I just get the spooks. And honestly, he'd be my prime
Where is the
subject.
tent located?
Well, interestingly enough, he's actually located only maybe 30 seconds to a minute away from where that dwarvish man was killed.
Hmm.
And then the third one, I don't really know about her all that much, but she is an oddball. She spends most of her time in the butterfly gardens. She is from, oh geez, I don't really know if it's Loshar, if it's Ashai. I don't really know where she's from exactly, but her name is Z Fang, and she's one of them martial arts types. Always wearing the robes, always meditating, and while I understand meditation, she seems to spend most of her time in that garden over there, gesturing out over the patio. So those are the three that I would start with. Douglas, like I said, you can find him in the stable. Kareem, his tent is right near where that dwarvish man was killed, and Z, you can find her in the butterfly garden. And I'd be more than happy to answer any more questions you have if you really think it'll help in the in finding the person who did this. Frankly, I've tried for months to find out who's been doing these killings, and frankly, no one else is willing to help. And as far as I'm concerned, the four of you are the only person who are truly innocent. Just showed up.
When she was saying all this, did she look suspicious, like she was making anything up or like lying about anything?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, as you're sort of listening to her talk, you can definitely tell that there is something extra there that she might not be saying, where, especially around Kareem, there's something else there, and she's not exactly telling everything. You can see her kind of like watching her like eyebrows. You can see her where she's like dropping things that aren't exactly fitting her narrative.
Mama Z, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us? Because and I mean this with as much respect as Mama Z. She's like weird to her to say that. I feel as though that you may not be entirely truthful. If you wish for us to help, you need to tell us everything that you know.
And you see her kind of take a moment, look at you, and sort of look down at the ground. And she says, "All right, darling. I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to talk about. So I really try not to think about it too much, as it's very it's a sore spot for me. But the reason that I specifically I understand I'm a little biased towards Kareem, because many, many, many years ago, back when us natives lived freely in what they now call the slumbering jungle. Been so long, I forget what we even called it. Years ago, when we did live in these parts, it was Caldarian people who came through, burning, killing, robbing, taking, and then trading off into slavery, and it was his ancestors who were doing that. And I know that I should not pass judgment for somebody in from his nation who has caused harm or pain. But dear, I have a feeling that you and I might understand that pain, as most natives don't wind up with coats by choice.
Sister, I understand, and I apologize for asking. I do want to help. We will talk to all three, and we will draw our conclusions from there. I understand it is hard. Trust me, I, I really, really understand it is hard not to pass judgment. But if we start, then they will continue. So we will be the better people. But yes, we will do this. We will do this for you, right? She kind of like looks at everyone else.
Morgonix will slowly climb to her feet and nod.
All right. Is there anything else that you think would be helpful?
I'm not, if I can think of anything, I'll tell you in the morning. But oh man, it's getting late. I'm sorry. I think I'll need to head to bed for the night. And she kind of stands up from the chair that she took a seat at, and she says, "Thank you all for doing this. I'm sorry for going off on a little spiel there. If you find anything, please feel free to come and talk to me about it." She gives you a smile, and then she sort of takes off a little bit around the corner and shuts the door behind her, and you can hear her footsteps down the steps as she leaves.
Right. think Alec is just kind of like looking in her direction for a while, and then she will turn to everybody else and she'll say, "Should we talk to these people now?"
Might as well. The attacks happen at night, so maybe we can catch someone skulking around.
Morganix, are you all right?
No, but I won't be any more all right in the morning, so let's just go for it.
Well, this Kareem, she says that they only speak to people when the sun goes down, so perhaps we should start with him.
Okay.
And before we go anywhere, Alex is gonna like really make sure all of the like, however she tied Silver up, that is like super secure, and she will also gag him.
Okay, so you tie an extra bed sheet like around his mouth and around the bed pole that he's already tied to. So one around his mouth, one around his shoulders, and one around his hands. Really getting like a 3-point anchor on him. And as you're tying him up, and all of you are sort of putting your essential gear on to head out into the surrounding area, Thomas says, well, as much as I would love to be a detective with you tonight, I think it might be best if I keep an eye on him. Yes, of course. It seems like whenever we head off in a direction together, he tends to get a little bit too frisky. So, you all have fun out there in the dark with maybe vampires, and be safe. I look forward to your return. Unless, of course, you'd like me to come with you. Of course, it's the least I could do.
No, Thomas, we do not need you to accompany us.
Oh, thank the gods. All right. Oh.
I'm gonna give Thomas like my shitty dagger, and say that you be safe.
And he's kind of like holding it with like
We
his
could
thumb
always
and
use him as
forefinger.
bait.
Bait?
Did you say that? Did you say that out loud?
Yep.
Jesus fuck!
Like
Morganix is gonna shoot you a dirty look.
like you do when you fish? Like to bring out the...
Yes.
We will not be using you as bait. Just
Oh, that's good.
until this fall.
Ignore the sour comments, darling.
Okay, yes,
That will not be happening.
I will. I'll ignore the comments. Would
Why,
you like
why
me...
does everybody brush off my ideas as something so terrible?
Because they are.
How? That would be the quickest thing to draw something like this out, is to use someone like him as bait.
Are we having this conversation in front of Thomas? This is terrible.
I think we should go talk to these people before we make any decisions on who needs to be bait and who doesn't.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, it wouldn't be the first time. My father, in order to
Thomas,
lure out a
stop.
boar one time, told me to go out covered in sausage juice. What?
Thomas, you're not helping yourself, dear.
No.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes I do that. My father always said I am my own worst enemy.
All right, let's talk to these people first, Sailor.
Oh, would you like me to watch the frog person, lady, friend?
Fro, and Alec will look at Fro. Would you mind staying here to? And she kind of lowers her voice to keep an eye on things.
She kind of like shrugs her shoulder.
All right, okay. Just be-
Morganix will give Fro her shitty dagger.
Fro kind of holds the dagger and she like takes a couple of swings. And Fro's not a child. She is an adult bullywug, so she seems to know how to use it pretty well. And just kind of seeing what Alec did to Sinver, she kind of like walks up to Sinver and with a frog hand kind of punches Sinver in the face. It's not very hard. It's kind of like a wet slap.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, she's doing well.
She like gives you all a wave, holding the dagger in her hand, just looking around. She's ready.
All right. Good. If he wakes up, just do exactly what you did.
You don't know. She's
With
smiling.
that, I guess Alec will head towards the door and back to the location of the dwarf, because that's where his tent was.
All
I'm gonna
right.
get piece of ham for the road.
So good right now.
Alrighty. So all of you leave Sinver in the hands of Thomas and Fro. As you head to the tent. Just as a side comment, I would love to see the spin-off episode where we stay with them instead of go with
yes.
you.
What a side campaign.
Yes.
Thomas Fro. Zipper.
Okay. All right. So, real quick before we keep going, I wanted to ask, LS, what does your grocery situation look like?
Haven't gotten a text yet, so
Okay.
we're good.
All right, we'll keep going. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to double check. Okay, so all of you continue to make your way downstairs, and once again back through the raucous tavern. Music now playing louder as it's starting to get closer to midnight, 1 a.m. You eventually make your way out of the tavern, back out into the exterior of the colorful Cauldron, and you begin to head down the road through these tall, like I said, tall shoulder length high, maybe like 4.5 foot tall bushes that sort of surround these paths right here. And you eventually make your way back towards the dwarf's body. It's still sort of walled off with these almost like palisades, like these wooden stakes sort of sticking out of the ground, making sure nobody can interact with the body. And you see that most of the tents are closed and there's no light coming from inside, as most people are in the tavern right now. But you can see one small light coming from the interior of one of the tents, maybe 30, 45 seconds away from the body.
Sayla's gonna sigh and she's just gonna start heading over to see if that's where they need to go. She just wants to get this done.
Alec will follow her.
As well,
She'll let Taylor lead
narcotics.
the way.
Okay. Alrighty. So all of you begin to approach the tent. How do you wanna do this?
Quietly.
Okay. So who is does somebody want to peek their head in? How do you want to attempt to enter the tent? It does seem like there's somebody in there, because you can see that there currently is a light on the inside of the tent, but
Sayla could creep up and listen in, see if they're talking or doing anything.
okay.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Alec will just kind of slow up and let Sayla go ahead just to see if like there's anything happening, and she'll say, when you're ready, just give us a sign and we will approach with you. And then Alec will just kind of wait back and just watch from a distance.
Okay.
I'm a much better talker than sneaker.
Sorry, what was that, Jamie?
I'm much better at talking than sneaking. I'd be staying back.
Alright. So then, Sayla, I would like you to make a stealth check. Oh my gosh, you guys have like not rolled beneath 20. I think this entire.
I rolled one, and that's been
Yeah.
it. Everything else has been 20s.
Amazing. So you sneak around the tent, and you get near it. It doesn't seem like anybody notices you. I'd like you to make a perception check to see what you can hear. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, where is perception again? Oh my god. I'm such a terrible person.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh my god, where the fuck is it? Why am I so bad?
It's been a while. We're not used to doing this every week.
It doesn't help that it's super small and I have really bad eyes.
God. Okay. So sorry, I wasn't saying oh my god because it's so crazy how high you guys have been rolling, which is awesome. It's great. So as you sneak around the tent and you sort of just get your ear as close as you can without casting a shadow on the tent or anything like that, as you sit and listen, you kind of have to tune out the insects and bugs coming from the jungle, the raucous music and talking happening in the tavern, and just sort of really focus in on what's happening to your side. and all you can hear is the sound of a quill on paper. That. Then you can hear it dip, and the little clang that the metal quill makes in an inkwell. Ting, ting, ting. And it sounds like he's just writing.
Alright. With nothing interesting happening, she's gonna motion for the others to join her because they're gonna have to confront him the old-fashioned way.
Before that happens, Morgonix is starting to get her head back on straight. She's going to try to just shake her head and gesture for Sayla to come back to them.
She's going to roll her eyes and then start coming back their way.
Morgonix will roll her eyes back, but harder.
What even is this dynamic?
Do you want to be invisible? Do you want to go in there?
I mean, I can try. I don't know how I'm gonna get in without being seen. I don't know where he's looking, or maybe it'll look like the wind.
Should we just go in?
I mean, I can try, and if all else fails, we just kill him.
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
What is with you people? You guys have all killed before. Why is this such an ordeal?
It was an accident.
Not necessarily out of choice. Well, one occasion.
We kill the people who deserve to be killed. We don't know this man. We don't know what he's doing. If he's just simply in there
Everyone deserves to be killed. Let's be real.
in there doing nothing, we could just approach. Did you hear someone with him? What is he doing? Is he talking to someone?
He is writing.
Writing. Okay, then maybe we should just go and say hello, as people do. Alex is like, that's right? That's what people do.
Oh man, I don't even know. You're kind of looking at the wrong person here.
You guys wouldn't like my greeting.
All right, well, we'll.
I mean,
Cyrus, you are a very.
I'm very personable.
You are. I agree. Perhaps you should lead the way.
Then I will approach the tent, but I'm not going to be subtle about it at all.
Okay. So as you begin to approach the tent, eventually getting within 3 to 5 feet, there's a voice that, a deeper, more coarse voice that says, "Excuse me, is there something I can help you with?"
I heard this was the party!
Sorry, there is no party in here.
No. You must be mistaken. How terribly rude of me. My name is Cyrus, and I offer a hand.
Okay. So have you like peeked in? You peeked into the tent.
Yeah, like I'm like literally hip flask in hand, offering it out, and I am my other hand to shake, and I'm like, "Hello."
Yes. Hello. Sorry, I do not drink. But it is nice to meet you. I'm sorry, I am confused. Do I know you?
Not yet, but deep friends, I hope, of course. Sorry, my friend, we have just arrived in town, and you see, I'm a man of the people. I want to make very good friends with everyone I encounter. It is a bit of a, I'll be honest, it's a bit of a crux of mine, but I can't turn down a good friendship. So again, I'm Cyrus.
Well, Cyrus, it is quite the occasion to meet you. My name is Karim Nalio.
What a fantastic name, and I'll kind of like pat him hard on the shoulder.
Yeah, and as you do, you can see like the sort of windswept hair with like the salt and pepper grade size and the small bit of scruff around his cheeks and mustache. And he says, please, not very many people come to me to talk, so I do not get to talk very often. If you'd like to talk, I suppose that is something I can do.
I hope it's not intrusive. Me and some friends here, we've been discussing sharing our stories, our past, and simply sharing. Again, I'm a deep fan of making new friends. Guys.
Oh, there's more than just you. If there's more
Oh,
than just...
I'm so sorry. Yes, please. We have Sailor, Alec, and Morganix, and I'll kind of gesture. I'll kind of like, if I'm still like peeking into the tent, I'll kind of like open the tent flap and say, "My manners."
No, you are fine. And you can see that the tent is definitely like maybe like a 2-person tent at the most. So he's like, if you'd like to talk, we can head outside. I don't know how well you and your other friends are going to fit in here. Please, we can go speak by the well.
Oh, sounds enchanting.
Yes. And he sort of stands up, and you can see he's got definitely traveler's clothes. And you can see that the tent is very well organized. He's got like his bedroll off to one side. There is a small lantern, like a... What's
Sorry.
up?
I said, is there blood anywhere?
In the tent,
From like what I could see, Alex isn't gonna just walk into this dude's tent, but like, as he's stepping out, she'll kind of like try to look over his shoulder.
Okay, make a perception check, because this is just like you trying to glance and see if you see anything.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be obvious about it.
Okay. You look in, and it's just too fast. As Cyrus sort of goes in to shake the hand, and then he comes out following Cyrus. You try and take a glance in, but before you can get a good look, he extinguishes the flame, turns around, and shuts the tent before you're able to get a good look.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Alrighty, so as all of you move out of the tent, getting ready to talk to him, we'll take a short, 5-minute break there.
So sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. As she gets her groceries, and then as soon as we get back, you guys will question Karim.
And
Thanks,
Taylor will
guys.
come away.
Yes, no problem. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a snack real quick and some water, and I'll be right back. Ooh. Recording. So, jumping back in, diving back in, verbing back into the game, we pick up where we left off. Where all of you, after getting some important details from Mama Z about her potential, please
Sorry.
don't. I can't. I don't have the ability to mute your mic like they can. But let's see, where were we at?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. After getting the important information from Mama Z, you decide to go have a conversation with each one of these 3 suspects that she believes might be the, maybe not the culprit the entire time, but at least these really brutal murders the past 2.5 months. You go and you head first to Karim Nalil, who seems to be the primary suspect for her. You make your way to his tent after a little bit of sleuthing, or just handsome enough. You never know. So, you all go to him, and Cyrus, you introduce first, and it seems as though being so nice to him, and it puts him at ease a little bit, and he offers to leave the tent and talk with you outside, as his tent is a little too small. So all of you make your way from his tent back towards the well, overlooking that small pond that sits at the bottom of the cliffside. And you can see that all along the edges there is that like trail of salt there, and he walks towards it and looks over at the water, looking down, and it's maybe a 20-30 foot drop, and he that is a very beautiful sight. Is there something I can help you with in particular, or were you just hoping to make a new friend tonight, as Cyrus was saying?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be too forthcoming. I just, I'm a collector of stories, if you will, and I'd be happy to share my own, or as I'm sure my companions would be here. But again, I don't want me to be too forward, but I saw, a dim light through a tent, and I thought perhaps a new friend.
Make a deception check. Okay. So you give him your tale, and he sort of looks at you and exhales. Listen, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you would like to talk to me about something, I would prefer that you be honest with me.
Okay. I gulp my flask and say, somebody else is up.
Sorry.
Sir, we are on behalf of Mama Z, looking into a couple of murders that have happened recently. And she asked that we talk to a few people who have been around for the past few months, and your
About the
name
murders.
correct.
Yes.
And as you can see, your tent is fairly close to the most recent murder, so we thought we would start here. Do you have any idea of how this could be happening? Was there anything that you've seen when this took place?
If you don't mind me asking, I just want to clarify one thing. All of you are working at behest of Zila, correct? The woman who owns this place?
Correct.
That's right, darling. Couldn't blame me for trying.
Understand. I am sorry, but I do not know anything more than you do.
Insight check?
Yes,
Yep.
go. Yeah, all right. Go ahead and make your insight check. So at this point, the three of you notice that Sayla's gone. She disappeared. And Sayla, it seems like he never saw you to begin with. So Cyrus, in a in terms of trading deception blows, he sees your lie, but you see through his. You know that he knows something.
So, and I kind of pull out my flask. Oh, I'm sorry. You said you didn't drink? Is that right? My mistake.
No, I do not.
Terribly forgetful of me. So, how long have you been here?
I've been here for 3 months.
Long time to be in a tent.
You are correct. It is a long time to be in the tent.
So what is it you do here, darling?
Well, for the most part, I have been exploring the surrounding area. Looking for... well, just looking. Investigating. Seeing if I can find anything of interest.
Is there something in particular you're looking for?
Yes, a personal item.
May we ask what it is? Perhaps we've come across it?
I mean, we did just come from the road. There's a good chance we...
Morganix, I'd like you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, great. Cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
I'm killing
real
it,
quick.
man.
So
This is
before
wonderful.
that, Sayla, what did you just want to sort of get around to the other side and just sort of keep an eye out?
She is actually going to sneak back to his tent and snoop.
Ah, okay. Okay. So yeah, the tent's, there's not like a lock on it or anything. You can just sort of undo the knotting as he's sort of looking out over and then redo it as you get inside. And the light is still on and you're able to pilfer through his stuff. So I'd like you to make an investigation check.
Right.
And then Morganix will jump back to you in a second.
No worries.
Damn.
Okay, so it seems like most of the stuff here is fairly bare bones. There are some very basic... there's a notebook, there's pens and pencils, the quill and ink that you heard earlier, his book, the lantern. There is a small backpack in here. And you do find rations, but the rations are... They've not been opened. They've not been consumed at all. But you do find his journal. And what languages do you speak?
She speaks common, and I think thieves can't. Where's my languages at?
It should be in the bottom of your right beneath your skills.
And
I think.
Elvish. Thieves can't Elvish and common.
Okay, it is written in Elvish.
Sweet.
So as you are reading through it, you notice that the first maybe 20, 25 pages there's nothing written on them. But as you get to the end, you can see that there is whatever he was writing before is in Elvish, which you're able to read, but you can see as you're flipping through and reading it after everything you were doing before, the ink is starting to fade. And you're able to catch most of the second half of what he was writing. And it pretty much says that his investigation has come to a standstill. No new information has presented. And the last little bit is... I can't let this go. I need to find him. And then as soon as you get to the end, it slowly begins to vanish from the page. So, going from there, we're going to jump back. Morganix, as soon as you say that, asking that maybe you can help in some way, you might know something, he looks at you, and you can see that he's just kind of trying to read you best he can, and as the moonlight is shining down from the sky, you can see this, his eyes, which were originally sort of a brown color, you can see them sort of glint with like a reddish-orange color as he's looking at you, and he just sighs, and he says, "Well, I appreciate the offer. I am sure there is very little you can do for me. He was not lost on the road. or else he would have been found already.
So you're missing a friend?
Sure. A friend.
Perhaps it is connected to what is happening here. Have you thought of that?
Oh, it is connected. I am sure of that.
Right. So we are all on the same page here. We just want to help. So if you can tell us about your friend and everything that you know so far, it could help us.
I'd like you to make a persuasion check.
Is he human or elvish or?
He's elvish, yeah. It's one thing that I tend to do with my art is I try and get closer to the character, like what they would look like, as opposed to the actual
Right.
racial features. But yeah, he does have pointed ears like an elf.
But not a native elf, correct?
No.
Right? It was
No,
people. Right. That was what Mother Z was talking about earlier, correct?
Yeah, he's Cartesian. He looks a lot like Tahir in terms of skin tone and facial features. Just
Gotcha.
Tahir was a human and he's an elf.
Okay.
So, Alec, you say it, and he says, I appreciate the offer, but I have to politely decline. I prefer to work by myself. And I would prefer, if you have no other questions, I have some things that I need to tend to.
If you think that this is connected, do you have any suspects? Do you know how to make it stop?
So as you ask that, we're going to jump back to Sayla. Sayla, you finish reading the journal as eventually the ink disappears. What do you want to do? Oh, no,
I think you're muted, honey.
You're muted.
Shit. Sorry. Or shoot. Sorry. She's debating whether she should go or keep looking. She doesn't know that they're wrapping up, so she's gonna go ahead and just one more glance over to see what else she can find.
Okay, go ahead and make another investigation check. Okay. So, as you are looking around, there has to be something else here. I mean, he apparently has been here for 2 or 3 months, and he has a backpack full of pen, journals, paper, pencils, and rations. Just rations. There's no water skins, anything. You decide to pilfer through it again, and as you get to the rations stay good for a while. They do. I mean, they're salted and dried meats, but as you risk it and you pull one open, there is this waft of just rotten meat that just hits your nose as you shut it. And you try that with a couple more rations, and they're bad meat. They are not edible in any way, shape, or form. And you pilfer through the backpack a little more, and you do feel that there is a slight hole in one of the sides, and as you sort of mush your fingers through it, you can feel a slight, like a chain almost, and you pull out, and there is this locket. And as it's maybe about it's a large locket. It's about the size of your palm. And as you click it open, there is a painting in there, a small painting. That must have been done by some very talented artist, as it is Karim. There is a younger boy, and then there's a woman. However, Karim looks much younger in this painting. Much younger. His face is shaved clean, and you notice that the eye color on this painting is green. Green eyes. And do you keep the locket, shut it, put it back?
I'm gonna I'm gonna put it back, but I'm definitely taking note of the eye color. And is there a way to tell how old that painting is?
Make an intelligence check. Okay. It's hard to tell. I mean, it definitely does not look new, as the paint is dried and it's starting to peel off a little bit. Given the fact that it's been exposed to the elements, maybe 10 to 15 years old.
Okay. Alright, with that, she's going to sneak away and go back out.
Okay. So, however, you did stay there, so you take note of that, you go to put it back, and you begin to head out, and we'll pick back up with you, Morganix. As you say the question, he looks at you and he says, I do have my suspects, but I am afraid that it would be best if I not share them with you. I hope that you will be...
I'm sorry, sir, but perhaps it is a foreign concept to me and not something that I have experienced much of, but we are offering to help you. Whether you want it or not, we can host our separate investigations, but it's obvious that we want the same thing. Is there a reason why you don't want more than one person looking into this matter? I don't understand. Is this something that people do? I don't understand.
And you can see him just sort of looking at you, and there's this just sort of like fireworks of emotions coming across his face as he's just trying to keep himself calm. And he says, listen. If you want to get to the bottom of this, then I can promise you that you are talking to the wrong person. But considering on which side you stand on, I don't think anything I say will change your mind.
Do you think the woman, Mama Z, do you have some grievance with her?
I never said such a thing. Now, if all of you would like to excuse me, I would be more than happy to return to my tent.
Can I insight check?
Make an insight check. Yeah, you can.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Okay. So, just barely. You are... As soon as you say Mama Z, there is like that twitch in his right eye. And it is overcompensated by a smile immediately after. And he says, no, Mama Z is a wonderful woman. She would never do anything like that. Now, if you'll excuse me, please.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. And as he goes to turn, say like you just at that moment get out of the tent and close it and move away as he turns around to head back to his tent. And Sayla, you hadn't seen it earlier, but now with the moonlight shining down on him before a cloud comes and cover it up, you can see that same brownish red tint to his eye color that is different than that which you saw in the locket.
Massive note, because eyes don't just change colors.
Mm-hmm. So you make your way through the shadows behind another tent as the three of you stand near the well looking out over the pond as he goes back into his tent, ties the knot, and extinguishes the flame that was in his tent.
was lying. He has something against Mama Z.
Oh, he lied about a bunch of things.
Not only that, I don't think he's human.
Well, he's an elf.
That, relatively speaking, I don't think he's an elf either, not anymore.
Why? Why do you say this?
Because I was snooping around in his tent while you guys kept him busy. There's a locket, and that locket has a picture of him, a painting. He's obviously younger in it, but he has green eyes. A painter's not going to make a mistake like that. Eyes don't just change colors. On top of that, the rations in his tent are rotten. He's not eating them.
And he says he's been here for 3 months.
3 months. I don't think he's human.
I'm not sure that he's what we're looking for at the same time.
Right.
I definitely got the vibe that he suspects something from Mama Z herself.
Maybe we should speak with the brothers, and it might be a good idea to ask their thoughts on Mama Z as well. Maybe there's more to the story than we are seeing.
Okay. So, from there, where to next? The stables to talk to Douglas, or the butterfly garden to talk to Z?
Stables are probably closer if we're at the well right now.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. So you make your way to the stable. It's just a quick 5-minute walk from where you were, making your way around the well, back onto the road, and into the stable. And you can see your horse and cart off to one side, and you can see the same young man that you would actually talk to is sort of petting one of the horses on the side of the neck, and he says, "Oh, now he's a good boy now, aren't you? You're a good boy, aren't you? Oh, look at you, look at you." And actually, the four of you walk, and he says, "Oh, howdy there. Something I can help y'all with this evening, or just coming to look at the horses in the sun in the moonlight?"
Does he seem nervous?
He seems a little nervous. I mean, you can definitely tell he's younger. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 20, 21. So he's a little nervous. He's like,
Okay.
being approached by 4 armed strangers in the middle of the night doesn't exactly help, though.
All right. Alec would say, "Good evening." She's doing her best. I'm a civilized person speech right now. Good evening, young man. We are doing some investigating about the recent murders that have been happening here, and we just wanted to ask a question or two to see if you knew anything.
Yeah, of course. I'm assuming you talked to Mama Z already, correct?
Yes, we have.
Good. Yeah. Well, as I'm sure she told you already, my name's Douglas. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and you can see these like bright white teeth, this swept back, long blonde hair, that smile just sort of like coming and going from his face as he tries to put on that happy face, but is definitely intimidated by the 4 of you. So, is something I can help you with you're looking around for the things that have been happening lately?
Well, just any information that you would have, any suspicious people, anybody who has, a grudge or anger against another person here.
Well, I've seen quite a bit working in the stables, going into the tavern every once in a while. Yeah, he's human. Yeah. Working in the stables. I go to the tavern at the nighttime, and I see people getting to plenty of agreements. But by the morning time, after they've taken a couple wallops at one another, they seem to be on speaking terms at that point. And it doesn't seem like there's ever anybody's ever like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. So there's that. No, but I do sometimes get a feeling that there's one individual in particular who, and you can see him think for a moment, who he definitely has been somewhat of a skulker, and has kind of clung to himself. Yeah.
Who is this?
The Cartesian gentleman. I don't know his name.
Kareem?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know his name. Got the white in his hair. Older guy.
Can I insight him because of how stuttery he was?
Go ahead, make an insight check. Yeah, you could tell that there were a couple words that it doesn't seem like would be in his lexicon. Yeah, some of those words were a little too big for him.
Nice.
I just, he sort of pulls his hair back and some of it's dropped into his face. He pushes it back.
What do you think of Mama Z? Is she sort of a de facto leader around here?
Oh, kind of. She's a quite a nice woman, really. About three months ago, I showed up here, by myself, because I was. I was looking for my sister. She was traveling to New Efera from New Verdalka, and I hadn't gotten a letter, and so I decided to come after her, see where she might have been, and I had some of those screaming weasels attacked my cart, and I was just barely able to get here with my life. And Mama Z, she gave me a job. She told me to take care of the horses, feed them, brush them. And anything else she might need doing, do it. And if I did that, she'd save up enough coin for me that I'd be able to get somebody to take me up to New Farah. So maybe I might be able to find my sister.
Have you not found her yet?
No, I assume she's just in New Farah. I mean, she, my sister has quite a way with words, so I'm sure she probably got a little carried away, swept up in the big city life. Both of us are from the Wild West, so life's a little more quaint there.
For someone so jittery, you're awfully brave being out here by yourself.
Oh, well, usually horses aren't armed, so it's a little bit safer. Like I said, I'm not normally used to people, with arms such as yourselves, the actual weapons and the actual arms on your bodies for some of you.
It seems like he has any blood or anything on him.
Make a perception check. You can see that on the shirt that he's wearing, it's like a linen tunic, and it's like a tannish cream color. And you can see that there is some on his shirt. There are stains on it. You're not sure exactly what, but there was a liquid that was darker on the shirt.
Where on his shirt?
Right, going diagonally from his from the bottom of his stomach up to maybe his chest. It looks like old stains. And you're not sure if it's not fresh blood. It definitely looks like it's been washed several times. But you can just kind of catch that little bit of staining.
In the time you've been here, have any of the animals been injured, or is it just people?
Well, the only animals that are really injured are those in the slaughterhouse for the ham, bacon, the meat, that most people eat here. Most of them are homegrown, if not they're imported from other places whenever we have a big influxes of people. But no, animals are never harmed, at least as like a malicious act. Definitely none of the horses here. I'll make sure of that.
So Mama Z only has you take care of the horses and carts. She doesn't ask you to do anything else?
Oh
And
no.
I'm paying close attention to this answer.
Okay. No, she does. She does anything she needs me to do. Sometimes, if somebody who works in the slaughterhouse is sick, I'll have to go in and I'll have to work there. It's not pleasant work sticking pigs, but sometimes jobs got to get done. And as much as I don't like it when you let them bleed out slow from life to death, the meat does taste better. At least that's what Mama Z says. I can't really taste the difference, but she knows best.
She doesn't have you do anything else? Just mostly animal related?
Yep. Animals is pretty much all I interact with. And
Do I believe him?
you can go ahead and make an insight check. Anybody else jumping on that train?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Please, somebody get on that train.
All right.
That was a very blatant thing to say.
Yep. Oh, thank God.
Everybody. Hey, all right. Cyrus, you're good.
You're good.
He's fine. Yeah.
I'm just drinking wine.
Yeah. You wish you could go back upstairs and hang out with Thomas and Fro, and make fun of Sinver some more. Sayla and Morganix, you read him and he really does just seem nervous based off of the situation. Four armed people, kind of, not necessarily being rude, but questioning him a lot, getting him really nervous. Alec, you're getting more used to these people. And you have a pretty strong feeling that almost all people who are not natives to Efera always have an ulterior motive or are always hiding something. And this boy here is no exception.
Okay. Watching him kind of squirm as he says that, Alec is going to just step a little bit closer to him.
Oh, hey there. Okay.
People's lives are in danger, and I need you to start telling us the truth. Because I don't like being lied to. Do you understand?
And as he stutters, I'd like you to go and make an intimidation check.
Oof, okay.
And, oh, shoot. Actually, just go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Oh, dope, okay.
Yeah, because this is,
Oh, you're Matt Mercering it.
yeah.
Nice.
So, as you approach a little closer and you clench your jaw, and you just... you evoke the imagery of what it would feel like to have pain done by you to him. He sort of looks up and takes a step back towards one of the horses, and he says, okay, all right. Sometimes, not always. Mama Z does want me to do a little bit of something extra. And really, it's just let her know who's coming into town, It's never anything too crazy, It's her business. She just wants to know if somebody's coming in who, they might, if they're traveling with a large group of people who are heavily armed, she just wants to know who they are so she can be extra kind to them, make sure they're not going to cause any trouble.
Were you told to look for something specific?
No, I was just told to tell her everybody who comes in, if I can remember them. Whenever I see people come in, just let her know who they are. Let her know if they're traveling with a large group or just by themselves. And most of the time, anytime I tell her about somebody, she always goes and greets them. Makes the place feel a little bit more personal.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
Mm-mm.
Douglas? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Douglas, tell me, just eliminating all possibilities. I'm sure you can understand. Where were you when the man over there screamed? Did you know him?
The dwarvish man. Well, sadly, I was taking a break before my night shift. I was actually in the tavern drinking. In terms of, did I know him? I mean,
I figured you get by the stables. You're near the road. You must see people coming in.
oh, of
Just a
course.
friendly hello.
He actually he came in, and he had a donkey that he was riding, and I saddled it up. I brushed it, cleaned it, fed it, but now. So when he came in, I talked to him for a little bit. Knew that he was coming in by himself, and he seemed like a sad man. So I told Mama Z, and she thought that was just terribly sad. So I know that she went and greeted him yesterday morning when he arrived. Took him some breakfast, a little bit of ale, just as a welcome.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm not being too helpful. I'm not exactly the sharpest pencil in the place where you put pencils.
No, that's quite all right.
Douglas, is there anything else that you can tell us that you think would help this investigation? And I do not mean to be disrespectful, but it seems that the few people we've talked to so far continue to mention Mama Z in some light. Is there any reason that you would have for her to hurt someone?
Mama Z, no. Listen, I know, and you probably understand this as well, being of native descent from Efera, but her people and your people get the, they get the sunny side of the tree, if you know what I mean. They're always in the limelight, always getting criticized for whether their way of life, things that they claim, that other people claim they do. And all Mama Z's ever tried to do, as long as, at least as far as I can tell, as long as she's been in charge of this place, has just been trying to make people feel welcome and trying to make people feel like they do belong and they are welcome and they can be happy here. The road's dark and scary and dangerous, so if she can make people feel better while she's here, she's more than happy to do that.
Douglas, I'm troubled because it's Mama Z that asked us to look into this, but she also listed you as a suspect. She described you as dodgy and avoiding her and suspicious, and you don't seem that way at all to me. Do you avoid her? Have you had some disagreement with her? Why would she suspect you?
I'm 100% watching in during this.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know. It's confusing to me too. I mean, I did get into a disagreement a couple days ago with her about how I didn't think it was right to bleed out the pigs while they were still alive. I can't taste the difference in the meat, and I just said it doesn't seem nice to the pigs. They're kind enough to let us kill them. Why make them go through so much pain? And she said, well, it's 'cause the merchants like it that way. And I said, well, I don't know. Why do we care what they think? They're getting fed anyway. And it kind of escalated from there. And I told her, well, it kind of makes me uncomfortable to stay here for so long when so many bad things keep happening. And she told me now to hush up right then and there and not to talk about it in front of the other customers because it makes people nervous. And she said she would talk to me later about it. And then, well, she hasn't talked to me later about it. In fact, last time I talked to her was a couple days ago when I told her that dwarvish man showed up into town, and she hasn't talked to me since then.
I wouldn't want to do that either, and frankly, you seem like a nice guy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But I am gonna. Do I believe him?
Yeah, and then so Cyrus and Morganix, you guys can make your insight checks.
Shit.
Cyrus, he really is being honest. You really don't think there was a moment where he was lying. He seems confused, a little frustrated, and a little hurt.
Honestly, you seem like a sweet kid. Truly, I get it. I get it. You know, it wouldn't be nice, as my friend here said. You know, an animal wouldn't want that. So honestly, like I understand. Perhaps perhaps when we next see Mama Z, we'll see why she harbors this opinion.
Well, thank you very much. That means quite a lot to me.
Hey Joe, is anybody watching us have this conversation right now? Like, is there a lot of people out?
Make a perception check. Like, right off the bat, looking out, it doesn't seem like there's really anybody outside right now. It seems like most people are in the tavern. Whoa, all right, we'll take the first one. Holy shit.
I'm so sorry, didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. We'll take the first one. As you are looking around, you can see that there are a couple of... There's no people around you, but there are a couple of butterflies who have kind of floated over towards where you're at, and you can see them kind of sitting on top of the building, and when you look up at them, they kind of float up and away back to the forest, and then they come back over, and they have this, like I said, this like 1 to 2 foot wingspan of these like vibrant... Oh no! Oh, there she is. These vibrant purples and greens and blues, and they each, like, when you're looking at the back of them as they're flying away, they look like different, like, painted faces. And they're quite beautiful, but it is odd to see them this far away from the garden.
Douglas, thank you for your time. I'm really sorry we bothered you, but, what is the name of your sister? We're heading to New Efera, and perhaps we can look for her and send back word.
Oh my goodness, that would be quite wonderful. Her name is Elizabeth Filigree. She's a lot like me. She's got that, the longer blonde hair, a lot longer than mine, and well, I will say she's not as good looking as I am, so it might be hard to find her that way. But she is quite the talker, and she's definitely a little bit more intellectual than me, as she always reminded me. I think she said something about she wanted to go to they've got a learning place there where you can learn how to speak better. I forget what the exact word was, but yeah. So if you would be willing to take a look for me, I'd appreciate it. I have a feeling I don't know how soon I'm gonna be able to get on the road because of everything that's happening. But if you'd be willing to do that, that would be greatly appreciative.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're heading there anyway. It's worth a try. Stay safe.
Hey, you too. Stay safe. I hope y'all can get to the bottom of this. I'd love it if I could stop worrying when I sleep at night. Yeah. All right, well, good luck, y'all. And he goes back towards the horse, and he scratches it. He says, "Oh, how do you feel about those people? You've been traveling with them, right?" And the horse kind of nods its head up and down. He's like, "Oh, they are good people. Okay, all right. Well, here, let me go."
Francois would never speak against us.
He's like, "Well, let me go get you an apple then. All right, you're y'all can't hear me, can you? Oh no. Oh wait a second.
No.
Let me reconnect. Oh shoot, reconnect all.
Oh no.
Oh wait, I think everybody just has to reconnect real quick. I can hear you now, Sarah.
How do we do that again?
Right click on your name at the bottom, like where all the icons are, and hit reconnect all.
Oh, yay.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yay, I hear you.
Okay, cool. I have no idea what that was.
That was weird.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, so he goes and gets Francois an apple, feeds it to him, and Francois eats the apple whole. Eats it. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask. Did you bring the Dogalin and the Foxweasel with you, or did you leave those in the room?
Oh, you know what? Dogalin is coming with me.
Okay.
Just because
Probably,
he can use his nose.
I probably left the fox weasel. He's probably sleeping.
Okay. Yeah. So he stayed in the room. Dogalin, though, he's been fairly quiet this entire time and just kind of staying very close to you, Alec. Where it seems like because of the native origin of the beast and the native origin of you, there's already an initial bond that is very strong between the two of you. So,
Okay, sorry, just because I forgot I had him with us. We're backing up. Can we just say that when we were near the body last, like, even if we didn't find anything, could I have him, like, just smell the body just so he has scent, if there is a scent to be had? If that makes sense?
okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, you have him sniff.
Just so he can have that with us.
Okay.
Sorry, I said that earlier.
No, that's good. That's good. All right. That's cool. The body's still there too, so which is
No.
okay.
So
So
just left it there? That's depressing. Okay.
He'll eventually decompose.
So we were just hanging out at the well with a dead body.
it was 45, 50 feet away. It's not like you guys were talking right in front of it. Right now it's walled off. It was just so Mama Z, in case you wanted to investigate a little more, the body would still be there for you.
Alec would let everybody know that it just found it a bit strange that these, very large butterflies just were kind of hanging about farther away from where their enclosure was. So she didn't know if that meant anything. She just wanted to let everybody know that kind of made her feel a little uncomfortable.
I would actually be saying, Alec, you're the native, I imagine. Did it not strike you as strange that Mama Z didn't seem to have the same culture or even respond in the same? What is it you call? I'm terribly sorry. Is it sister, brother?
Yeah, it is. It is common for our people to greet each other with such. Just because we are all of the same blood, we are all of the earth, we are all of the mud, and we will all return to the mud. But it was strange.
She didn't seem to really get
She
what.
looks as though she is of our people, but that means nothing.
Does anyone feel as though we're being purposely led astray?
Yes.
I wonder if we should investigate the slaughterhouse.
Free spooky 5 me.
I'm sorry, what?
Ignore me.
Sayla is slightly uncomfortable with the idea. She doesn't like the idea of animals being hurt. She likes meat. She doesn't want to see it.
Same.
So, question. So, Alex people typically, her tribe specifically, do not hunt. Like, that's just something that they don't do. They will fish occasionally, but, like, they're not super meat eaters. Because,
Yeah, what is that? A pescatarian?
Yeah. Exactly. Because, the religion. So, is that a sentiment that all natives share, or is that like a tran? Oh my god, I started saying tribe and clan, and I came up with tran. Like a clan / tribe specific thing, or is that like amongst all native people of Efera?
The natives of Congiato, they adhere to that strictly. However, when you would go to visit other tribes on your sort of envoy missions with your father, the natives of the Somasoan or Soasoman, Riverlands, the Rocky Riverlands, they were hunters. And
Okay. Oh, all right. So never mind. My case is gone. Well, thank you. That's good information.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Now,
well,
I will say that the natives that used to live in what is now the slumbering jungle and lived in Congiato, they were sister tribes. So, because before the colonization happened, this area was full of natives, but ever since it's kind of been evaporated. But you would know that they were very close in their beliefs and feelings
Okay,
towards
so she
animals.
does feel that it's a little strange that she's kind of so, I don't know, intense with
She's
the
pretty
way.
hot on meat.
Honestly.
Yeah, and you're not sure if that's because it's her feelings or if it's a moneymaker. You're not sure there. But it is kind of weird how passionate she was about making sure the pigs were bled out.
Okay, yeah. Well, then Alec kind of shares Sayla's sentiment of not really enjoying the idea of a slaughterhouse, but maybe it would
We
be a
don't
good idea.
have to. We can talk to this woman in the butterfly garden, but I don't know. Something seems really off.
I still say we lay bait.
I feel I do not think it's come to that just yet. It's still early in the night. We have yet to talk to what was her name, Joe?
G.
Z. Okay, we've yet to talk to Z, and I still think that there's information should be found first.
You're all just soft. Lead the way.
Alex will run and lead the way towards the butterfly gardens.
Okay. So you head from the stable to the butterfly garden.
As we're heading there, I want to put the glasses on.
Okay. Put the glasses on.
Yeah, detect magic, or the use of the glasses, is that... Shoot, I can't remember if it's 10 minutes or an hour. Let me go look. Shoot.
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
For within 30 feet around you.
Yeah, I'll trigger it when we're around here-ish.
Okay. Let me just look at let me get the glasses here real quick. Okay, cool. Cool.
Because I'm thinking it's not going to take us 10 minutes to walk from there to the butterfly garden, and I'll even get some use of it in the garden.
Yeah. Okay. So turning it on right next to the tavern, because you don't see anything inside the tavern because it is, that
Right.
wood and stone. Most of it seems like when you looked through the glasses outside of the jungle, there was magic everywhere, but it seems in here it is fairly removed and it is fairly bland. It's normal, but the closer you get to the butterfly garden and you see one of the butterflies within 30 feet of you, the butterflies are glowing a shade of white, which is divination magic.
I will warn the group of that.
What is that?
No idea. But they're magical.
As Sarah speaking, not Sayla. What is that?
Oh, sorry.
So, divination is the type of magic that pretty much gives people the ability to learn long forgotten secrets, interpret dreams, predict the future. It also is more famous for the spell scrying, which is when you sort of picture something in your head and you just can see it. Yeah, detect magic is also, and it sort of like lets you see things that you wouldn't normally be able to see with your own two eyes.
I put a question in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Spell can penetrate.
Just checking. Not trying to rules lawyer, just making sure, because it actually says that in the description.
Oh, 3 feet of wood or dirt. Okay. 1 foot of stone.
Here I am to ruin everything.
No, it's not ruining anything. You're good. I'm just trying to think. So it's 30 feet. And so looking into the tavern, you can see small blips of magic, where it must be that there might be some people who are traveling with magical lockets, or they have magically enchanted weapons or swords for the extra protection. 30 feet. You know what? Let me do this, because I just don't know. Actually, I do know. Never mind. So, as you're looking around, you don't see any other blips aside from those small ones, those little bits and pieces of magical energy.
Okay.
And you see, and there are different shades of colors depending on what the enchantment might be, on whether it's the armor, the cloak, the weapon. It just depends.
Right.
But yeah, on top of that, you see that on top of the white coming off of the butterflies.
But the butterflies are still the bigger source.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I will relay that to the group. I definitely feel like they're looking for something.
I'm not a magical person. I'm just gonna stay out of this one.
Do the butterflies seem like aggressive, angry moths, or just beautiful butterflies living their life?
They are beautiful butterflies living their life. They are graceful. They almost, like, it only takes a few flaps of the wings for them to float, so you get this normally on like normal sized butterflies you only get to see you only get to see the colors when they stand still, but these ones, they flap their wings twice and they coast, and flap their wings twice and then coast, so you get to see the colors more often.
And as we approach, do we see this person hanging out in the gardens, or?
Yeah, there's like a small like archway that leads into the garden, and you can see her. You can see her back right now. She's wearing typical like white and gray robes. Her hair is pulled back into a tight ponytail on the back of her head.
She's the only person in the gardens right now.
Yep. She's just sitting in the center of the garden, just legs crossed, looking up, and just you can faintly hear some type of humming, and then it stops. It seems like she's meditating.
Okay. Well, I guess Alice would go over there, realizing that she has been handling all these things pretty aggressively tonight. Is gonna try to do it a little bit smoothly this time. And she'll just walk up kindly and she'll just say, hello, good evening, and just not get too close yet.
Okay. You can see her sort of break her meditation, and she exhales. She turns, still sitting, cross-legged, and looks up at you, and she says, yes, good evening. It is good to meet you. I am Jifeng. And
Alex Silverfoot, Logan Silverfoot. These are my friends, and we are just doing some investigating of all the events that I'm sure you've heard of on behalf of Mama Z.
yes.
And like when she says Mama Z, she's gonna like look at how she responds to that.
She's a half-elf. You can tell the ears are pointed, but a little bit more rounded out. And when you say Mama G, there's really no reaction.
Okay.
Yes, I have heard about the situation happening, and it does bring grief to my heart.
Too. Would you have any information that you would like to share with us about these events? Have you seen anybody who seems suspicious or is seeking to harm others?
Sadly, I do not leave the garden very often. Most of my time I spend in here, and I meditate on balance and the beauty of nature. And so, sadly, I have not seen much. I spend most time here, and I will say, if it helps your investigation at all, I do know that there is imbalance here. In my monastery in Wongju, we spend much time learning about balance and imbalance and what it looks and feels like. And there is imbalance here. I know not where it originates from, but imbalance is here.
These are fascinating creatures. They're not like anything I've ever seen. Do you know anything about them?
I have learned a little bit from being around them for the time I've been here. You see, the backs of them have the faces of men and women painted. They are quite beautiful. It is said by many of the travelers who come through here that great sages and chieftains and chieftesses of the native Eferians are able to use them as a looking glass. They're able to don the mask of one of these butterflies and peer through them and see whatever the butterfly sees.
Fascinating.
Yes. The idea of sight beyond our own two eyes is something that fascinates me as well.
Does she seem to have like any, I don't know, malice to her, or she seemed pretty chill? She seems pretty chill to me.
She seems disconnected.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where it seems like she's very neutral. Very neutral.
Is anything glowing on her?
No, there's nothing. Well, no, yeah, you're looking over her, and it doesn't seem like there's any type of magical aura to her, or glowing tattoos, or angry moths spraying off of her body. So
Cool. Tight.
I think Alec is just not like one of those moments where her mouth is kind of like half hanging open because she doesn't really compute what was just said. I mean, she gets it, but like, there's a way different way that her and her people understand how that kind of thing works. But I don't know. Alec kind of looks at the group. She's not sure what to think of this person in particular. Something is just not right here. I think maybe it is worth talking to Mama Z a little bit closer, or maybe even looking at the slaughterhouse just to look.
I vote the slaughterhouse.
I don't think it's going to be fun, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of other ideas. It's the only place we haven't been to yet.
We don't, if it is her and something's going on with her, we don't want to let on that we suspect it.
Exactly.
So, let's check out the slaughterhouse. Let's look around the place. Maybe there's something there, maybe there's not, but I suggest we look around before we even remotely go near her.
Since Alec told us, I know we're in the butterfly garden now, but like since Alec told us, I'm gonna be kind of scarily looking for these fucking butterflies.
Yeah, and they are. The thing is, there is such a bright collection of flowers and weeds in here that, Cyrus, there is a moment where you sort of look off to your left, and then you like do a double take because there is a butterfly like right next to your leg that was just blending in flawlessly with the flowers next to you.
That.
And when you sort of lift your leg up, it just sort of floats up and away from where you had startled it.
Like, are they big enough that we can see their eyes? Like,
I mean, yeah, kind of.
oh god.
Yeah, it's really freaky, especially for being somebody from a place with normal-sized insects. Alec, for you, this is normal. This is, you're used to seeing odd things. But for the rest of you, it is definitely just a little fucking weird.
Man, getting a staring contest with a friggin' butterfly.
I guess we're headed towards the slaughterhouse then.
Yeah, something about this is really unsettling to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of you, if you have nothing else in the butterfly garden, yeah, magic can do crazy things, man. So you all head to the opposite end of town. Or not town, the opposite end of this particular area towards the slaughterhouse. And as you approach, the building is not a welcoming in the slightest imagination. It is a rusted building that is almost falling apart, and you can hear the oinkings of pigs and the mooing of cows from the inside. And it is cramped. It seems, for the amount of noise that's coming from there. There is a single entrance to the area, and it seems to, currently as you begin to approach, it seems to be chained and locked. And I'm going to move you to the art.
Oh, good.
So yeah, you can see most people definitely are keeping their distance from this area. And real quick, what is everybody's passive perceptions?
12.
12?
I think L's was the highest. Yeah, mine's 12.
12.
14.
14. Selah?
Yeah, where is that?
I think it's right underneath your skills. Like, it
Yeah.
should be right underneath honor.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, come on, you stupid thing, go down. And these freaking, they're so freaking small.
But I'm not sure.
Passive perception is going to
There
be
it is,
slightly
13.
okay.
You said 13? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so, all of you sort of looking around as you approach, seeing the locked door. Alec, you are the only one who catches this, where you can just kind of hear that on that sort of second story area, that like slanted building on the, or slanted part of the roof on that first half of the building, you can hear some noise come from up there. This like tuk, 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 sound of footsteps.
Ooh, okay. Alex will stop, hold up her hand, and she will like gesture, point and gesture that she hears footsteps up ahead.
Should we
And,
hide?
Just a second. Alec, she wants to catch whoever this person is, so she's going to like totally like hand, like she knows sign language all of a sudden. She's just gonna like gesture towards the house or the slaughterhouse, and she's just gonna kind of sneak. She's gonna keep going forward, but being quiet.
Okay. So, Alec, as you begin to move forward, letting everyone know that you heard something up there, I'd like everybody to make a perception check, approaching the building, as everyone's keeping an eye out up there. Oh, shit.
Sayla sees more than those fucking butterflies do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have clicked this. Just taking ages.
No, you're good. It's coming round the mountain when it comes. Cyrus, you're good.
I'm not enjoying this area.
Yeah, you're good, Cyrus. You are just from the butterflies to this fucking madhouse of animal noises that realizing that you ate a pig that came from here, you feel that you just start to feel a little gross. However, Sayla, you start to your instincts kick in. In a moment, you sort of duck and dive and roll, and peeking up on that slanted building, you can see, cloaked in black, peeling away some of the wood that is on the second story. You see Kareem peeling away some of the wood. As he pulls it off, there's this, like, pulling the nails away from it. It makes this tink sound, and he sets it down, and you can see him begin to sort of move in to the slaughterhouse.
And I just kind of mouth Kareem to them to let them know who it was. Like,
Morganix will whisper, should we try to follow him?
I can. I don't know if you guys should.
That sounds like an excellent idea. Fuck this.
So that you should, and just signal us if you need help.
Morganix, perhaps some invisibility would help.
Yeah, I can do that. And I will tap her shoulder and boop.
Sweet.
Okay. Invisible. Alrighty.
Did I get advantage with that or no? I can't remember.
Let me click the spell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for stealth, for what I do is if you are just moving around, you're just invisible. Like if you're just staying ground level, check a person, yeah. But whenever you go to try and climb things, then you get it with advantage because you're still invisible, but you still are making noise, and it's not like a silent spell.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage, and then an acrobatics check to climb up the side of the building.
Acrobatics or stealth or both?
Both. The stealth one is with advantage, the acrobatics one is not. Okay.
Okay, let me take off advantage, go back to normal. Oof.
Okay. So, luckily, you are able to grab up onto the roof and sort of pull yourself up and roll onto it, and you do make, like, this dunk sound on the wood up there with your rolling and your feet hitting the wood in front of you on the slanted part of the building. However, you do see Kareem turn around, but given the fact you're invisible, he doesn't see you. He looks one more time. Nope. And picks up the wood and sort of tries to jimmy it back into the hole where it came from. And you can kind of hear him for a little bit moving throughout the slaughterhouse on that second story.
Can I follow?
Yes, you can. So you make your way up, and there's no strength check necessary. It wasn't pushed all the way in. All of you see that wooden door, or that wooden hole, be pried back open and set back down. As Sayla, you move in, and you can see that the animals in here are crammed together tight, where there is about twice the amount of animals that should be in here right now. You can see a multitude of different tools all along the walls that are stained with blood and just grotesque, and it's hard to believe that they would be used on animals. And there's nobody else in here except for Kareem. You see him sort of go over off to the side and sort of hang off of the second story ledge and then drop down into the animals, and they sort of make a ruckus, and he just begins looking around, pushing his hand up against the side of walls, moving animals around, looking down at the ground. It seems like he is really looking for something right now. And you see him search for about a minute. Do you do anything, or do you just keep watching?
I'm gonna keep watching.
Okay. So
I'm curious if he finds whatever he's looking for. I want to make sure I can see it.
Okay. So you do see him as he's moving around. Eventually, once he gets to the back right corner, you see him stomp on the ground, and it goes from this like sloshing, muddy dirt noise to a dunk, dunk. Good. All right. And you see him get down on his knees and begin to like scrape mud out of the way, and you hear him knock, and there's wood. He says, "Good." He tries to pry his fingers around, and there's just, yeah, exactly, and there's just nothing for him to grab onto. Damn it. Damn it. And he looks around and he finds, he sees all those like collection of tools on the side, and he goes and he grabs like a sickle almost and sort of slams it into the wood and goes to pull it open, and eventually it gets stuck in there, and he and is able to lift up the trapdoor out of the way and slide it off to the side. And you see him just look down over the hole. I knew it. That woman. God damn her. And you just see him sort of sit there apprehensive and look down, and he just kind of freezes for a moment, and you see him being very indecisive in that moment. What do you do?
I'm gonna move a little closer, but not like close enough that he can hear me breathing or anything, because I'm super curious what's down there. I'm likely going to follow. If he goes down, I'm probably going to follow.
Okay. So he looks around and... Alright, okay. I will be... And he's whispering to himself, and he says, okay. Alright. I will be back, I promise you. One way or another, I will find you, I promise. A few more moments, I need to return, and I will be back. I promise. And he sticks the sickle back into the plank, and he moves it back over and puts the sickle back on the wall, and he begins to move back towards the ledge, and you see him jump up, and it is interesting how much air he's able to get with this massive push and grab and pull. He gets up, and he begins to walk towards where you are.
Oof. I'm gonna very carefully make sure that I move out of his way. Do I need to do any kind of roll?
Yeah, I'll need you to make a stealth check for me.
Advantage or no?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, dice gods.
Okay. So as you try and stand up and push yourself up against the wall, he is like walking crouched, trying to make as little of noise as possible. And there's a moment where your cloak, or his cloak, gets stuck on your shoe, and it sort of tugs, and he turns around and he sort of stands up, and he looks down at where his cloak got caught on your foot. And he looks back up, generally in your direction, and you see him sort of take his hand and move it across the wall until it hits your shoulder. And he grabs your shoulder. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab his arm and try to twist it.
Okay, I would like you to make an athletics check.
Okay. Oh shit.
Okay. Oh, okay. So as you grab his arm and try and twist it, he grabs your arm with so much force you can feel the tension in your bones as he twists it and just pushes you down on to the ground and is like grappling you, getting you in like a submission hold, just like holding your neck with his arms and like grappling into you, not knowing who you are. He just keeps pulling. What are you doing? Are you trying to break? What are you doing?
I'm trying to get free, and I'm also cursing.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so because you originally tried to grab his arm and pull him, at that moment, invisibility would have broken, and as soon as he got you in the hold... Oh, but he didn't... You weren't there! Oh my god, he's like got you in the hold, trying to... Yes, you did feel it break.
Guys, something's wrong.
Okay, so as he's holding you there, I'd like you to make another athletics check as you try to break free, as you can feel the grasps tightening on your throat. Oh, okay. Oh, you... So as you try and break, you feel yourself get free for a moment, but he just grabs, and this time nestles his, like, where his elbow is, and, like, it, like, grabs your throat right around there, and pushing on his elbow to cut off your circulation. Morganix, as you get up there, I'd like you to make an acrobatics check, or athletics check, just trying to grab and climb up the side of this building.
Shit.
Okay, so Alec, Cyrus, and Morganix were like in discussions about Alec and Cyrus going back to the tavern right as like Morganix said something was wrong. So we all
would have announced that the spell dropped. It would be something's wrong. Okay. The spell's gone, and boom.
Okay, well Alec will follow after her then.
Okay.
I'm staying watch.
Okay, Alec, I'd like you to make an athletics or acrobatics check as well. Morganix, you are able to pull yourself up just barely. There you go. I guess it didn't matter. It's the same. But okay. So as you pull yourself up, Alec jumps and sort of rolls onto the top of this building and gets around. Cyrus, make a perception check. So as both of you get in there, you can see Kareem has like his arm around Sayla's throat and is like choking her out. Real quick, I would like one more athletics check from you, Sarah, or Sayla.
This is so stressful.
Nope. Okay. So as he is like clutching onto your throat, you eventually can feel your arms go lax as you can feel the air circulation begin to cut off. As
Can Alec just like spear him? You know, like wrestling spear?
Well, right now he's on the two of them are on the ground, where like she is on top of him, but he's using that to choke her out even more.
I would like to go and try to rip him off of her.
Okay, so as you get up there, sort of tackling in, like falling into this complicated scrapple, you tackle on top, trying to rip her off. I'd like you to make an athletics check, contested with him.
Okay. 3 against 1.
Okay, hold person.
Okay, all right, so that's a wisdom saving throw. So 8. So as you try and pull him, you make a little bit of air for Sayla, but Sayla, you still can feel your eyelids getting heavier and heavier as the air circulation is starting to stop. So it's a wisdom save. What's your DC?
Shit. It is 14.
14. Barely. Just barely. You can see as Sayla is about to pass out into unconsciousness from having the air stolen from her body, not being able to get any breath. Alec failing to tackle as you do. Alec, before the hold person's able to go off, he's able to use his other hand to redirect you and sort of throw you off the side of the building as you're on this very narrow terrace. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall off the side and slam into the ground and actually land on top of a pig. And the pig like oinks really loud and like runs off, and there's this cacophony of noises. However, Morganix, as soon as that happened, you cast the spell and he just sort of freezes, and his arm is still in Sayla's neck, but Sayla, it's not tugging as tight, and you can start to breathe a little bit more. However, you're able to eventually push the arm off and sort of contort and move him and get out from him, and he sort of is frozen right there laying on the ground. What are you guys doing? You just saw Alec fly off the side of the building. Cyrus, you heard a crash of wood and then an oinking of a pig, and now all of the animals inside of there are going wild.
I'm definitely keeping an eye out. I'm not going in there. I'm watching everywhere around me like a hawk.
Yep, yeah, and so I'd like you to make another perception check.
Especially after that crash.
Okay, so with a 21, you're able to see that while there are no butterflies right here on top of the building, as you look out into the forest, the same thing that happened to you earlier when it was blending in so well to the lavender and lilacs and lilies, you see them blending into the jungle line. These ones aren't beautiful like the other ones. They're not blues and greens and purples and pinks. They are brown and dark shades of green to match perfectly to the bark and moss of the trees. And you can see, looking out, you start to get a little overwhelmed and panicked because there are so many of them that you're just now seeing that are lined up on the tree line, just constantly peering in.
Oh, fuck that.
To the colorful Cauldron Inn. You see them looking in at you, and you make eye contact with all of them. So from there, we're going to jump back. Morganix, Sayla, Alec, what are you three doing in here with Kareem, currently frozen?
I
Running
fell.
over. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm on the ground. So you go ahead.
Trying to pull Kareem off of her and put him on his back.
Okay,
I've
so
only got a minute on this spell.
yeah, well, he does get a save at the end of each one of his turns.
Yep.
So at the first time you pull him over, you said 14, right?
Yes.
That's a 2. Okay, that's a failure.
Oh,
so you
good.
roll him over onto his back, and he's frozen, and you can see there's just confusion and anger in his eyes as he's like, So he's on his back. What are you doing now?
I'm holding my finger to my lips like, shh, 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 shh. Let's talk. Let's talk. I'll drop it. Let's talk.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Oh man, that sound really pissed my dog off.
Oh, sorry.
Oh god, I'm so bad.
And you can see he's just panicking, and he's just, and you can see him start to grow more feral.
Oh
Can I
shit.
climb back up before that
Can
happens?
Yeah, you would be able to climb back up before that happens. So Sayla and Sayla and Alec, the two of you now up. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm looking over and I see that she's trying to get him to calm down. I also see he is getting a little more feral looking. So I'm going over and I'm gonna try and help her keep him calm because we don't want him to fucking turn into whatever the fuck he turns into.
Okay.
While she's doing that, I would like to go over and like put him in my own Kakuna Clutch sleeper hold. I'm not gonna tighten it around to actually choke him out. I'm just doing it to grapple and hold him as soon as her hold person ends.
Okay, I'd like you to make an athletics check with advantage as you're trying to grapple him, get him in that position, just for when he comes out of it. Just to see what that DC will be. Is you have enough time to really get a good clutch on him without him struggling, so that way it's really hard. Okay, so you try and get nestled. You still have a few pains in your ribs and your back, but you muscle through it and you just flex. And Sayla, okay, so let's see what happens this time. Okay, that's a natural 20. So he is able to flex back out, and you can see that, like, his fingernails, they grow just a little bit longer, and the two canines on his teeth just extend a little bit as he's starting to go more feral. Let's make an
Wait,
athletics check.
I have him, right? Like,
Yes, you do. He gets to make his athletic. He fails as you like have him with a 17 just sort of clutched into your arm, already grappled, as he's just trying to like scratch out at your arm. So that is a 12 to hit. Does that hit?
No.
Okay, so he's like trying to bat at your head and like sort of scratch you with these claws that he has, but it just keeps missing each and every single time. So Morganix, as he's finally broken out of the hold person, what are you doing?
I'm reaching for him, but not aggressively. I'm just going to put my hands on his shoulders and say, please, please, I don't think you're the bad guy here. We need your help.
Okay, and then Sayla, you said you wanted to try and assist her in calming him down.
Yep.
Okay,
This
all
is
right.
going to go great, guys.
All right, go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage as you're just trying to calm him down, get him to back off this ledge that he's at.
Both of us, or just one of us?
Morganix with advantage.
Okay.
Okay, so as you say that, he sort of. Well, if that is the case, then please let me go.
Do it, Alec.
Okay. Okay. And she'll just let him go, but her hand is not far from her sword.
Okay, so as you let him go, he sort of darts up, almost like floating up. He just. And very feral, looking out at all of you.
Jesus, easy, you fucking piece of shit.
Oh,
You're
really?
the one acting fucking sketchy as hell, creeping in here.
Oh, I am. Or is the person who is invisible trying to follow me? The ones working for Mama Z? Are you the ones who are actually sketchy? I think that you all are the problem here. What?
Oh.
She told us to check you out. We're coming here because we think she's fucking sketchy. And you found a trapdoor that I really want to go down in.
She's telling the truth.
Holding her sword, looking between Sayla and dude.
Come on, dude. If I had wanted to fucking kill you or do anything, I would have done it while I was invisible.
As much as I appreciate the tenacity many have tried, and I doubt yours would have worked. I do not doubt your blade. However, I do know your strength, and I feel like it would have taken more than that. If not for your friends here, it would have been a very different outcome.
Could you just explain what is going on here?
Yes, I apologize for my coarseness earlier. It seems as though you are telling the truth. Fine, let me be honest, as I was not earlier. I did not know your intentions. I did not know that you doubted Mama Z. And I did not know that she recently had all of you investigate. And, well, frankly, I believe, as I'm sure that all of you can tell now, there is much more to Mama Z than what she leads on.
Obviously.
Yes, obviously. I have spent months trying to work slowly as not to cause any suspicion, but it seems as though it did not work. As I'm sure all of you can tell now, I am not exactly what I lead on either.
I figured that when I snuck into your tent earlier.
I see you are also someone who clings to the shadows. Good. Yes, I am cursed with vampirism. Much against my will or want. 4 months ago.
Go get Cyrus. This seems important.
Yes,
Yeah.
please go get your friend.
Alec will like bamp out. And be like, Cyrus.
You're gonna have to drag him in there kicking and screaming, but
Because we're about to share something very important. I can hold your hand if you'd like.
I'm just kind of like staring at the tree line. There's so many. They're watching us.
Oh,
The fucking butterflies.
we need to go. Come inside.
I'm kind of like following, but like I'm staring at this fucking tree line. Like I am freaked the fuck out.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you
Alec
help.
will quickly bring him inside, but there's like obviously a shiver down her spine after seeing how scared he was, and like also I assume seeing the same thing.
Yeah. You can look out in the tree line. You can definitely see it as well. It is terrifying to see all those little eyes looking at you. You help him up onto the second story, climbing in through that small hole, sealing it behind you. And he says, "So, as I said, I am cursed with vampirism. Not my choice, by the way, and it has caused many problems in my life, including that of the loss of those close to me. However, 4 or 5 months ago, my son, he was coming to Efera to do research, to go to some school that they had in New Efera. He looked to me and he said, 'Father, I promise you that I will find a way to undo this, to make you better.' And I hoped that what he said was true. However, 4 months ago, I received a magical message in the middle of the night. Him saying that he was being taken, that he loved me and that he was sorry. A woman. Thorns and blood was all around him, and then nothing. So, naturally, I dropped everything. My own research. And I came here. I searched from Nuverdalka to Nufera, all along the roads. For about a month I searched. Stopping in Nufera, stopping in the Threshold Inn, in Oll's Crossing, in the Enclave, in the Fiery Hearth, in Dyberin Keep. I stopped everywhere, looking for him, asking questions about him. And no one saw him, except for those in Nuverdalka, and one person here, Mama Z. She remembers seeing my son, a woman. From that moment I did not trust her, and I've spent the past 3 months trying to find a way to find where she's been hiding, whatever she's been hiding. And I finally found it. Whatever that trapdoor leads to is whatever she's been trying to hide. I don't know if my son... You're right. I don't know what is beyond that trapdoor. I don't know where it leads. But I know wherever it leads is the truth.
Do you agree now that we're stronger together?
I do. When you told me you were working on this on behalf of her, I assumed that... Well, I knew that the past 4 or 5 murders that have happened, she's made it look like someone like me would have done them. Trying to get people to fear me. So I feared that when she found people at least semi-capable, that it was over for me, and I had very little time. But luckily I was wrong.
Your favorite target.
Exactly. And I'm sure that if you would have presented that you found out that I was a vampire, and that I had been the one who had done all the murders, no amount of blood magic could have saved me from the wrath of a small gathering of warriors, mercenaries, and whatever in the god's name she is.
I think we need to hurry because those things are watching us.
Yes. Well, let us go then. I, looking to you, Alec, I am sorry for that.
Yeah, it's just a scratch.
I have no use for them, but I am sorry to both of you. I will add. For one, I had
I'm
not
used to it.
seen.
Everybody hates me in this group.
Well, I feel like under different circumstances, the two of us would get along quite well. But I have no use for them as they do nothing for me, being cursed with undeath, but I keep them around as a symbol of my long dead humanity and mortality. And he pulls out 2 health potions and says, I have no use for them, but I think they might be useful to at least some of you.
Thank you. I still have mine. Who's used theirs already?
And these are... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think the only thing I've got's the indestructible potion. Or the invincibility potion.
Yes, I could use one just to hold on to just in case. Right, when we got into town, yeah, we haven't had a rest for a while, right? Since we woke up this morning. Like, we've been in, like, we woke up, traveled here, and gotten into this mess, correct?
We had a short rest
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I was at...
because I got spells back.
I was at 15 hit points. Did I? Oh, that's weird. Okay. And then I got 3 from you. Okay.
Wait, does that mean I have all 3 of my hit dice back?
No. Because you guys also this morning dealt with the bandits on the...
Yeah, we took the short rest after, so I could get my spells back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it, yeah. I spent missing 1 hit die, so I spent 1 hit die instead of more than 1. I'm okay. Cool beans. Gotcha. But I'll take it. I'll take a health potion.
Yeah, you two should take them.
I say Cyrus should have it. Well, I'm the one that gets up close and personal.
I don't need to heal. I just get attacked and I die.
So it's more useful for somebody else to have it to clam down your gullet.
I've got 18 HP maximum.
Oh, hey, I have 19.
Goodness, guys. Oh, my poor baby.
Okay, I put the health potion in my thing.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I was the other one too.
So are all of you descending down?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I would literally, someone help me. I don't want to look, and I literally close my eyes.
Well, Cyrus, it's either stay up here with the butterflies or go down there and face whatever's down there.
You've not seen it. It's fucking horrifying.
Worse than earlier? In
Yes.
the garden?
Yes. You'll see. Or maybe you won't, which, to be honest, is more scary.
Marconix is just gonna sort of reach over and rub Cyrus's back.
Yeah, and Alex will just start, I guess, taking a deep breath.
I'll do that thing like a kid does when they're doing hide and seek and they're like peeking through the eyes, kind of.
And
Okay.
Sayla's just kind of done with sitting there. She's like, okay, I'm going down the fucking hole. Have fun, guys.
Alrighty. So
Margonix will preemptively summon the Hexblade.
Alrighty. So you summon the Hexblade. All of you descend down into the hole. And after Kareem sort of sticks that sickle in and again pulls it up and out, and it is a narrow, maybe, like, there's about 4 feet drop, and then it turns into this narrow hole, like a burrow, where you just have to crawl through it. You don't walk. You literally, on hands and knees, have to crawl. And as you do, crawl, and you are crawling for 15, 20 minutes, just in mud and dirt. And you can hear the noise of... It's it's kind of like you can almost hear running water above you, but it's thicker and sludgier. And it is just so terribly unpleasant, as you are just continuing to go through these caverns, or through this cramped, tiny hole, and you crawl longer and longer and longer. Definitely for those of you that hate those confined spaces, really starting to feel it more and more and more. And eventually, you can see moonlight peering out. And whoever's at the front, you definitely crawl through a little bit faster to try and get to the end, and eventually all of you get out at the end. And you eventually stand stretching out, and as you look around, most of Efera that you've seen so far has been serene sandy beaches or overgrown jungles and or beautiful cities. This area, though, is different. You see almost like swamp, completely out of place. Sludgy black slime, this mud sort of sticking to your legs, and you see this decrepit, dead, huge tree, maybe 60 feet wide at its base. And you can see a small opening, but that opening is like partially covered with like thorny bushes, where there's enough room to move through it, but it looks like it would cause at least a little bit of damage moving through it. And then you look down further, and you can see there is almost this small little moat of blood. That, even though this entire area is sludge and mud and water, there is like this one U-shape of blood that just sort of sits on top. And Cyrus, you recognize them more than anyone else because you are well acquainted with them. But now there are butterflies over here that are black and gray and dark brown that mesh almost perfectly with the dead and decayed trees here. You see them, and they stare at the five of you as you slowly begin to make your way towards the tree. And the closer you get, you can hear this humming and cacklings. Meal tonight will be so delicious. Haven't had this much for so long. Come in, please. Come in. And as all of you step closer and closer, afraid for what you'll see, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Fuck me.
Why?
When I say I don't do well with spooky things, I'm not kidding. I'm fucking terrified.
Who hurt you, Joe? Why?
Oh, God.
I want to know what's gonna happen. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Man.
We have to sit on this